Good afternoon, everybody. Can everybody hear me? Let's see. I don't appear to be bright. Here we go. Looks like we're broadcasting now. Hello, everybody. Good afternoon. Long time no see. A couple weeks since I've been on. I haven't been on any other streams the last couple of weeks. I've taken a break, maybe a permanent break from the other live streams. We'll get to that. Hello, Raphael. How you doing? Nice to see you. Just getting myself organized here. Give me a second, guys, to get everything going. So on today's live stream, I've got some ideas in my head that I wanted to talk about. And hopefully we'll be having some guests on. I don't know. I messaged a few people, see if they wanted to come, but I don't know who's going to come today. So I don't know how long the stream will go, but we'll see. We all, just like all streams, we'll play it by ear. Whatever happens, happens. But as the title of my live stream suggests, it's my 1-year anniversary in just a few more days here in the VC. It was February 24th when I filmed my first video for the vinyl community. February 24th, 2020. Hey, Richard, how you doing, buddy? Nice to see you, my friend. Hope you're feeling better. I understand you've been suffering from COVID. I hope all is going well for you. It was nice to see you do a video the other day and see you back. And thank you. Yes, my 1-year anniversary, February 24th. And it's been an interesting year, to say the least. And as my title suggests, yes, there's been some toxic behavior. There's been some drama. There's been elitists. There's been trolls, but there's been a lot of good things too. So I'm going to kind of address those before I let the guests on. That's good to hear you're on the mend, Richard. But before I let guests on, I thought I'd have my little rant or my little say or just talk about the last year. A year ago, like I said, on February 24th, I filmed my first video, and I have to check. I either posted it the day I filmed it or a couple of days later. I can't remember. It was either the 24th or 25th that I officially let myself be known in the vinyl community. So, hey, Level, nice to see you. And yeah, 1 year ago, hard to believe. A whole year's gone by. And it's been, for the most part, it's been a good year. I'm really happy with my channel. You never know when you're making videos. From now having a year's experience, I've come to realize that you never know. And there's a lot of videos that I've released, and I try to do one a week. There's been the odd time I've done a couple in the week, but most of the time I do one a week. And I do a half hour. Some people complain to me and they're like, "Yo, Anthony, your videos are so long," and they're like 30 minutes. Really in the grand scheme of things, it's not that long because I see a lot of channels that do, 5 to 10 minute video. Some do it like almost every day of the week. Some do it like, 3 or 4 days a week or a couple days a week. And when you look at that, there's some channels doing these 5-minute videos over the course of a week. They're probably doing at least 30 minutes or more themselves. So I do it all in one shot. I don't know. I grew up on, TV and stuff. So, half-hour episodes. So I always try to keep my episodes around half an hour. Sometimes they've gone over, sometimes a little bit less, but I try to hit that half-hour mark because people can fast forward if they want. They can watch it in little bits and pieces. I know there's quite a few people that watch my videos all the way through. And my family watches them. My family watches them. But yeah, half-hour format I just went with. because I think, and it's only once a week, so I'm not like bombarding you guys every day with videos. I know it's hard to watch all the VC videos out there, very, very hard to watch all the VC videos out there. And I don't get that much time myself. So I just do them one episode a week. And yeah, a year ago, I filmed my first one, which was my intro and room tour video, which has done very well over the course of the year. And it's amazing that, you know, some videos, you're like I was saying, you never know what's going to be a popular video and what's not. There's videos I filmed that I said, I look at them before I put it up and I go, I really like this video. I think this video is going to do well. And then it kind of just gets kind of a so-so number of views and this and that. And I'm not all about the subscribers. You know, people, there's this whole subscribers or views, what matters more. I think in the end, views matters more, because if you're making videos and, you know, 10 people's watching them, it's a lot of effort. I got to set things up, pull, I spent an hour going through my records and deciding, thinking about topics, pulling records out, setting it all up, setting the lights up, setting camera up, doing all this, filming it, cutting out, editing, It's a production. And when you do that production, it'd be nice that more than a handful of people see all the effort you put in. So I think views count a little bit more than subscribers. I don't care how many subscribers I have, as long as I'm getting, enlightening some people, or people are enjoying my videos, and enough people that in my brain are watching my videos that I feel is worth it, then that's that. But yeah, I think views are more important than subscribers, for sure. And don't get me wrong. I mean, I'm so blessed and so thankful for the number of subscribers I've gotten in a year. I never even imagined, that I have 100 subscribers. I was like, man, who's going to want to watch me? I've never been on TV or camera before. I've never done anything like that before. I've always been behind the camera because I was a photographer for many years in my profession. So I was always behind the camera. But apparently some people have been enjoying it. And I think I'm around 830, somewhere around close to 830 subscribers now in a year. And I'm really thankful for that. And I've had nothing but positive comments on my videos from the people that watch my videos. You get the odd troll. Yes, you do get the odd troll. And you just block them and you delete their comment. But the number of trolls is maybe 5% and 95% of nice comments. So I'm happy with that. But yeah, my first video was my room tour, and I'm going to do for my anniversary video this week, and I'm going to drop it the same exactly 1 year later from when I dropped my first video. I'm going to do an updated room tour this week. So that's what is going to be coming next on my channel, is an updated room tour. In my original room tour, I basically showed, my records. You can go back to my very first video. I showed my records, how I had them organized. I showed my stereo system, and that was pretty much it. But over the course of the year, I've had so many comments that it's like, okay, so on this room tour, which will be like part 2 or an updated room tour, I have moved records around. I have reorganized my records. They're pretty much in the same place as my old room tour, but I've moved genres around and sections around and all that stuff. So I'm going to be doing a new room tour for my anniversary video, a room 1 year later. And I'm going to quickly show my records and maybe my stereo very quickly, because nothing has changed in my equipment. Just a lot more records in the last year. It's definitely a lot more records since the pandemic's on. What else is to do but shop for records online? Because we're in lockdown, and I'm still in lockdown. But I'm going to focus on that big wall that everybody always comments about, my big wall of media I have behind me when I film my videos, all my Blu-rays and DVDs and all that stuff. So I'm going to add that in. That's going to be a big focus on my new room tour. I'm going to go shelf by shelf, show you what's on that big wall of media behind me that people comment about, how I've got my movies and Blu-rays and everything organized. Give you guys a real good look at that. I'll also show you some of my other things, as I'm a big anime figurine collector, though I haven't done it that much in the last couple of years. My collection of that is kind of at where I want it to be. But I will show some of that collection, show my pop culture figure collections, things that I didn't show in that first video. So that'll be kind of in the next room tour videos. You guys will get to see that big wall of media behind me and how that's organized, my pop culture figurines and things like that, and just some of the other things in the room. And a little bit of vinyl too. So that's what's coming up next is that room tour. Also coming up in the next couple of weeks, I do have 3 videos planned. The updated room tour. I have one video that I have wanted to do for God 6 months, and I keep putting it off because other things come up. But I have a video I'm going to be doing on trance and techno music. That's right, trance and techno music, which was a very big part of my life for a good 10 years. I had pretty much given up on rock, classic rock, new wave, punk, everything. I was just sick of it. By the end of the 90s, I was tired of it. You know, records were gone. It was nothing but CDs. And I discovered trance and techno in the late 90s and became completely obsessed in that world for a good 10 years until the vinyl resurgence. So I'm going to be doing a video where I show some of my trance and techno things, the CDs and things, and the very few things I have found recently from trance on vinyl. And I would love to have a lot more trance on vinyl, but it was something that just wasn't at the time when trance and techno came up. It was all about CDs and digital, so there wasn't a lot on vinyl to buy here. Certainly not here in Canada. Very hard to find any trance. Even CDs, I had to import most of the CDs in trance and techno. I had to import them from the UK and from Europe and sort of online sellers because they didn't even sell that stuff here in Canada. So yeah, that's another video that's coming up. So I got my room tour coming up, then probably my trance and techno tour will be coming up after that. And then after that, I'll probably do everybody knows I'm a big golden earring fan, massive golden earring fan. Tied probably from one of my top artists of all time, probably tied with another artist, but golden earring. And I did a big long 2-hour live stream with Naz Nomaz where we went through the entire golden earring discography. But recently it was announced that golden earring were retiring due to the fact that George Kooymans, one of the vocalists and lead guitarist, had ALS, Lou Gehrig's disease, and was forcing the band to retire. So that saddened me when I heard that news. So I will be doing another golden earring video. That's probably another one that's coming very soon, probably 3 down the line. Room tour is next, probably a trance one after that, then golden earring after that. And it will be kind of an abbreviated golden earring where I'm going to pick probably my 10 favorite golden earring albums of all time, and kind of a little farewell to golden earring for me, bittersweet moment, and just show and talk about some of my all-time favorite golden earring albums. So those are the next few things that are coming up. And then down the line, there'll probably be some vinyl finds as well. And I'll probably have some vinyl finds showing today. I'm going to show you guys a little bit today on our stream of things I've just picked up since the new year. We'll show that. And let's have a look at the comments. Hi, Anthony. Greetings from Pittsburgh. Recent sub to your channel. You have an interesting life's history with music, and your collection of all things is second to none. Greg. Well, thank you very much. 3 Dimensions of Music. Vinyl Dale. Thank you. Ron Bodery. How you doing, Ron? Lovell. And Mike Mason. Hey, Anthony. How are you, bro? Canadian brother from another mother. That's right. And do I have to turn my house tunes down? Charlie Lauder. No, you do what you want, Charlie. Got the glow sticks out for the trance videos. Yeah, I should have got glow sticks now for trance videos. I've got a cool shirt that's that's like very trancey that I'll be showing. And yeah, but so like I was saying, it's been a year now in the vinyl community, and yeah, I don't get too many trolls on my channel at all. I'm blessed in that respect. I do have a couple trolls that give me a thumbs down on every single video, literally a couple minutes after they are posted. So it's not like they obviously subscribe, and they're obviously haters, and they just troll. And I think I know who they are, but I'm not one to call out people's names, even though there's going to be a little bit of a rant in this video. I am not going to call out anybody's names because that's just petty and low when you actually call out people's names. But yeah, I have a couple trolls. I know who they are. And if they want to give me a couple thumbs down on every video, whatever, jerks your chain, whatever. I really have no time for it. I don't give a damn. If that makes you feel good, fine. But yeah, trolls, elitists. What did I say in my description on this video? Trolls, elitists, toxic, and drama. Yeah. So this year, I decided at New Year's, and I said it before on streams, that I didn't want to be involved in any more drama. I'm done with drama. Like, seriously done with drama. So, it's been a good year, but I do have some complaints that I'm going to air now, and I'm done with them. And then it'll be also, I'm going to say my piece because I think I'm allowed to after 1 year. I'm generally a really good natured person and try to always bring just music to other live streams and talk about music. I don't want to pick on people. Sure, every once in a while you have a little joke with somebody, but everybody else knows that I quickly tell them, yeah, it's just a joke. I'm just teasing you. Um, but what I discovered when I entered the community was that I thought it was a great place. I watched videos by Naz Nomad, Channel 33 RPM. There were a couple of people that I didn't care for. I'm not going to say who they are. A couple of really big channels that I just found were a little bit, I don't know, creepy, whatever, that I didn't care for. But certainly Channel 33 RPM, Naz Nomad, a few of the really big channels were what got me into the vinyl community. I did not know. I did not know a lot of the small channels. I had not, experienced a lot of the small channels. So I didn't discover them actually until after I joined the vinyl community and started posting my videos, and a lot of the smaller channels that I didn't know about were putting comments on my videos. So of course, in turn, I discovered those channels and started subbing them all up and everything and exploring the vinyl community more and more. But it was some really big channels that brought me into the vinyl community. And I thought it was a really great community until this summer when live streams happened. Yeah. And then I realized that it's not really the greatest place that I thought it was, which is sad to say. And my opinion is that some of the live streams are ruining the vinyl community. It is what it is. Yeah, I think with the pandemic and everybody being home, StreamYard becoming easily accessible to have these multi-person live streams, some of the live streams have gotten a little bit out of hand. They're not moderated well. I'm not going to say names. I don't believe in saying names. I've met some wonderful people. Don't get me wrong. I've made some really new friends. I'll call out Rachel, the music ma'am. She's a dear person. She's a good friend. I've made her. She does run a live stream, a controversial live stream. I've made some good friends, but in the same time, I've apparently made some enemies, which is kind of bizarre. But yeah, there's definitely some toxic people in the vinyl community. I'm not going to call out their names. They know who they are. Somebody want to privately message me on Instagram, and I'll tell you who they are. But I'm not petty enough to sit and talk about them and call out their names. But yeah, there's some very, very toxic people in the vinyl community that just are disgusting. I'm sorry, they're disgusting. They put on live streams, put down people for their race, their religion, their whatever sex they are, everything. It's pitiful, and the people that go to watch those live streams are just as bad. They seem to they draw like minds to their streams. So that is really, really, really sad that's happened. So much toxicity in the vinyl community. I never dreamed there was so much when I first entered the vinyl community. I thought it was just a happy place, everybody sharing their records and sharing their love of music. And then I realized that there's a lot of not love out there, and that there's elitists out there and people with closed minds, and people that if you don't listen to exactly what they listen to, they will ostracize you. They will put you down. They will make fun of you. They will tease you. They will bully you because your music taste is different than theirs. And I'm not having that anymore. I like a lot of music. I like 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s, 2010s. Everybody knows this. I love pop. I love new artists, old artists, young artists, old artists, everybody. And unfortunately, there's a lot of people on the live streams that pick on me because of my tastes. And I'm sorry, but you don't pick on people for their musical taste. Simple as that. You don't pick on people. Everybody is allowed to listen to what they want, and is allowed to love what they want. And if you're putting somebody down for what they like, you're not even worth the air that I breathe. Like, I'm sorry, but it's sad that you have to think so low to pick on a person's musical taste. I'm not having that anymore. One of the reasons why I'm not doing as much live streaming anymore, I found that, I just want to talk about music. I want to talk about my love for music. I'm not trying to push my music on anybody. I'm not trying to push my artists on anybody. I like to show all the different artists I listen to, because maybe somebody out there will go, oh, maybe I'll give that artist a try. That's all I want. Give it a try. Open your minds. But there's some people that are stuck in their genre, stuck in their decade, don't want to get out of it. They don't want to get outside their box. They're not comfortable outside their little box. And they pick on anybody that's living outside that box. That's their box. So I used to be a big part of live streams, but it just got to the point where I'd go on a live stream and I get disrespected, and it was too much. It's getting to be too much. I get disrespected for my musical tastes. I get disrespected for artists. And it's such a double standard, because there are artists that I'll mention that I love, and I'll get put down, and they'll joke about it, and they'll tease me, and they'll pick on me for liking that artist and go, oh, that artist is shit, blah, blah, blah. Yet another person will come in the live stream and talk about the same artist, and that person gets respect. So, I don't know what it is that people don't like about me. I try to be lovable, but there's some clear people that hate me for I don't even know what reason on the live streams. I've, even had my life threatened by one idiot on a live stream. I didn't join the vinyl community for that shit. I'm sorry. I didn't join it for that shit. And I'm not going to do it anymore. I mean, there's one live stream, Rachel's live stream. I like going on that live stream, but unfortunately, I think there's about 50 people that watch that live stream, probably about 30 regulars. And unfortunately, there's a lot of regulars on that live stream that for some reason or other, they don't like me because I don't conform to the standards that I'm supposed to. I'm sorry, music is subjective. Music, we're all allowed to love what we love. I'm not going to put somebody else down because they like this artist. Like personally, I don't like Bob Dylan. I really don't like Bob Dylan. I don't like the Grateful Dead. But you never see me putting somebody down for liking Bob Dylan or liking the Grateful Dead. I'm not going to do it. So don't put me down if I happen to like Dua Lipa or Britney Spears or some other pop artist, Kylie Minogue. I love my pop. Whoop-de-doo. Fuck you if you don't like pop. Fuck you if you're going to say shit to me because I like pop and put me down because I like pop. Fuck you. Simple as that. I'm not going to take that no more. And it bothers me when people will make fun of an artist. They make fun of me, Yeah, Dua Lipa, what do you want to call it? Manufactured pop, synth pop, dance pop, whatever you want to call it. My favorite album last year. It made me tap my toes, made me forget the pandemic. I enjoyed it. Simple as that. Sue me. I enjoyed it. But at least do the courtesy of, and I get put down. I get put down for that. And in certain live streams, they'll intentionally, just to get under my skin, they'll intentionally call her Hoopa Loopa or Dupa Lapa or Lippin' Out. Like, Jesus Christ, people, show some respect to the artist. Maybe you don't like that artist. You don't want to hear that artist. Fine. But just keep your bad thoughts to yourself. Calling the artists names. I don't call Bob Dylan Bob fucking annoy me with his whiny voice, do I? I don't say anything. So why is it so hard for you to not just address, Dua Lipa by her name, Dua Lipa, not Hoopa Loopa or Lipa Lapa. The girl's got 2 Grammys. She's nominated for 6 more Grammys. She's on the cover of Time magazine. She's on the cover of Rolling Stone magazine. I think she's earned her respect. So, show some respect for artists out there, for new artists outside of your box. Simple as that. Just show respect for them. So, that really gets under my goat. And people do it to intentionally get at me because they know I love various artists. So, yeah, that sort of behavior. And then and the other thing that I wanted to say was the elitists that get so snotty about pressings. Most of us have an average stereo system. We have a good turntable. We have an average stereo system. And for me, personally, buying a pressing never really matters to me. Honestly, it doesn't matter to me. I buy music for the music. I don't buy it for a perfect freaking pressing. I buy it to listen to the artist and the music. If it's got a few clicks and pops, great. If there's some minor freaking soundstage problems, I don't know. I've listened to what are supposed to be fantastic MoFis and I've listened to regular pressings, and honestly, I don't hear that much difference. I really don't. I know maybe it's my ears, but there's some elitists out there in the community that put down pressings that really, they're okay for the average person. We don't all have $500,000 stereo systems, people. We don't have them. Most of us have an average, we have other things in our life. Most of us have an average stereo system. And I have average ears, I think. So I don't care, honestly, in the end, as long as it's not all beat up and unlistenable, I don't care what pressing I have. But these elitists that make you feel like you're wrong, that you're doing something wrong in life by having this pressing, they'll go, oh, that's a shit pressing, Anthony. What do you have that for? You need to have this pressing, blah, 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 blah. Like, no, I don't need to have that pressing. And you need to stop putting down pressings, because there's only a small percentage that really are going to care about your opinion on the pressings. And those are the people with maybe these finely tuned ears and these fancy stereo systems. But most of us, we're happy with just listening to the music and not picking apart the pressings. So, that bothers me a little when people will put down the pressings I have, or that I've recently bought a pressing of something and they'll put it down because it's just, oh, no, it's a shit pressing. No, it's not good reissue, blah, blah, blah. No. Well, we're not all made of money. We buy what we buy. Like, I can't afford a zillion MoFis. I can't afford a zillion audio analog productions records. I'm not going to go searching on freaking Discogs and paying import fees and high prices for some beautiful pressing that really won't do that much more for me. It's about the music. It's not about the pressing. So yeah, that bothers me a little bit, the elitists. The trolls, yeah, we have the trolls. We have the haters. I had some really bad haters. Most of them are out of my life now. The toxicity is just ridiculous, and I'm tired of being disrespected by people in streams. People judge me by the few minutes I spend on a stream. Like, I get judged for the few minutes I spend on a live stream. They seem to think they know all about my entire life by maybe the hour I drop in on a live stream somewhere. You people know nothing about my life. You assume a lot of things about me. You assume because I have this big wall of media behind me and I have, a couple thousand records, that I'm some big rich you pick on me for living in that. You say, I get picked on. Oh, yeah, Anthony, you live in your mother's basement. No, you know what I do? I take care of my mother. I don't stick my mother in a home like most people do and forget about her like most you people do. They stick their parents in homes and forget about them, and then they're all dying of COVID in the homes. I am so glad I never put my mother in an old age home, and that I decided to take care of her in her elder years, because she's safe and sound and she's not dying in an old age home like a lot of old age people are doing from COVID. So, you want to pick on me because I take care of my mother. Well, you know what? My parents took care of their parents in their home before me. So I'm just doing what our family has always done and taking care of my family. So, so I get picked on for that. They seem to think, oh, Anthony has unlimited wealth. Blah, blah, look at all the stuff he has. Well, you know what, folks? I'll get to the messages in a minute, guys. But I'm just going to finish what I had to say on the stream, and then we'll get on to lighter topics. You guys don't know nothing about me, so stop assuming things about me. I have spent 3/4 of my life alone. That's right, 3/4 of my life alone. I added up the number of years that I've been married or had girlfriends and been in relationships, and it literally adds up to about 25% of my life. The other 75% of my life, I have lived alone. I was bullied in school. I was a nerd in school. I was bullied. I was the guy at the school dances that never got a dance. It is what it is. So you know nothing about me. And the reason I have all this media is because I've had a very lonely life. I suffer from chronic depression. I suffer from chronic anxiety. I have health conditions. I'm waiting for 2 surgeries that I can't have done because of the pandemic. And I just hope that neither of these items that needs to be repaired fails before I can get in and see a surgeon. So yeah, I spent 75% of my time alone. So hence, I don't date. You know how much dating costs? I don't drink. You know how much drinking costs? I don't do drugs. You know how much drugs cost? I don't smoke. You know how much smoking costs? All you people complain about what I have, thinking I'm some sort of whoop-de-doopty richie guy that that has no cares in the world. No, it's because I've been alone for 75% of my life, and I have had none of those things that cost money. Dating, smoking, drinking, drugs, all those things eat up a lot of money, people. And because I haven't done any of those things, and I don't do those things, I can afford to buy these things. I can afford to have that media library. And people forget that they look at that big wall of media. That's taken me a lifetime to build. I didn't like buy it overnight. That's not, that's, like 30 years, 40 years, whatever, 50 years of buying things bit by bit, slowly. So it's not something that just magically materialized because I won the lottery. It's something I've worked at all my life. And yeah, I've been alone all my life, most of my life. That's so, don't pick on me. Don't pick on me for that. Now you don't know nothing about my life. I spend, like I said, 75% of my life I've spent alone, and it is what it is, people. I lost my train of thought here. But yeah, what you guys see when you see me on one of the other live streams or whatnot is, a couple hours a week. You don't know anything about my life, what I have to deal with on a daily basis, what I go through, the physical and mental things I have to suffer with, taking care of my 94-year-old mother with multiple problems who's pretty much bedridden. You have no idea what I have to do, raising a teenage daughter in the time of a pandemic. You see me for an hour a couple times a week on a stream, and I put on a happy face. But vinyl and music isn't my life, people, and you seem to think it is. I spend maybe an hour, if I'm lucky, 2 hours a day, maybe 5 days a week listening to records. There's 24 hours in a day, 7 days in a week. So vinyl and listening to music is this much of my daily life. I do a lot of other things. Vinyl is a very small part of my life, listening to music. I'm not listening to records all day long, like people seem to think or something. I maybe listen to 1 or 2 records 5 days a week. There's some weeks I don't listen to anything. I go over an entire week without even turning on my stereo. So people, stop assuming things about me because you know nothing about my life. The vinyl community, vinyl and music takes up maybe an hour out of 24 hours of my day on average at the most. And there's 23 other hours that I don't discuss and I don't share with the community. That's my private life. That's my real life. So there's my rant. I will go on, there's some other live streams out there. I mentioned Rachel's. I'll go on her stream once in a blue moon, not anything like before, because I'm just, I'm tired of being disrespected, and I don't need the disrespect. I want this year, I want my year number 2 in the violent community to be positive. I'm going to focus on my videos. I'm going to do my bi-weekly live streams. I'll drop in once in a while on a live stream, but I'm not going to hang around long because I just don't need the disrespect. There's people that clearly hate my guts for whatever reason, and fine. But that's that. So let's look at the comments. I've said my rant. Let's see what people have been saying. Probably trashing me. Anthony, very good system. Let's see, where are we? Vinyl Dale, you buy for yourself, not others. Exactly. Yeah, I'm just done with all the nonsense. It's really sad that 40 to 65-year-olds, which is what most of the age group that most of this toxicity and these elitists and these people that pick on me are in. It's really sad that they're acting like high school children. Maybe they were bullied in school too, and they feel it's time to get back and bully other people. Or maybe they were bullies back in the day, and now they can grow up, people. Just grow the fuck up already. That's all I have to say. Grow up. I start acting your age. You pick on young people. Like, I'm not going to mention names, but there's a young person that entered the vinyl community a month ago, and she has had tremendous success, and I'm happy for her. Congratulations to her for that. Whatever got her there, but it's the young people that are in the vinyl community that are going to carry the torch for all those old geezers when we're dead and gone. So if you want to put these people down because of their success and go, oh, why has this person got so much success in the vinyl community? I don't get it. This person's boring. I don't know. I don't see what's so special about this person. And on and on and on every day, and in some stream or another. It's like, why? Stop picking on people. Like, really, just stop fucking picking on people. Who cares what the other guy's doing on their channel? Like, really, who cares? Don't bring up. First of all, don't bring up people's names. You want to talk about somebody. You want to be toxic. At least have the courtesy not to say names. You don't see me saying anybody's names here. So, but I've seen a person being picked on just because they've had success in the vinyl community. Well, you know what? It's these young people. And I have young people on my stream. I let young people on my stream because young people are the future of our music, people. All these collections we're passing on to our children. All you people in the vinyl community, all you old geezers like me in the vinyl community, we're going to be passing all this stuff to our children. So, and young people, the young people are the future. The young people are going to carry on this 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, whatever. Young people are going to carry on this music. And if people in the vinyl community come on and put down the music and put down these people for having a Crosley record player, or put down them for whatever reason, you're just turning them off of music. You're not just turning them off of vinyl. You're turning them off of music. And these young people, they're our future. They're the future. They're the ones that are going to take all this music that we love and keep it alive in generations to come, and pass it to their children, pass it to their children. So maybe you should start thinking about that instead of putting down the young people. I won't have that either. So yeah, let's see the comments about what's going on. Let's see here. Bear with me, guys. I'm going to let some people on soon. I think Mark's joining me soon. Hello, Christopher. Hello, Christopher. What's up? Robert Anthony has a very good system. Hi, Lisa Tedesco. Hi, just got here. Hi, Anthony. Yeah, don't buy horrible pressings, but average is just fine for me, as I have a pretty average system. I usually buy to support the artist anyway. Exactly. You buy to support the artist. You buy for the love of music. Whatever pressing you have, if it makes you happy, that's all that matters in the end. You don't need to own that perfect pressing, people. A lot of pressings you buy and are cut above the average records. I'm a dollar bin guy. Have made a lot from my, this is Jorgen. Jorgen, yes. Hi, Jorgen, buddy. I'm a dollar bin guy, and I've made a lot of my best findings at thrift stores and many other dollar bins. Mike Mason, hello, Lisa. Let's see. Some people have ears that are very sensitive. It drives them crazy to hear extra noise, crackles, and pops. But most of those people will tell you buying a pressing you can afford is better than nothing. Lisa, hi Mason, Let's just, most times people make fun of folks out of jealousy. That's right, Ron. Most people make fun. Maybe people are jealous of I don't think I have a big collection. That's what really freaking drives me crazy is people go, Anthony, you have a massive collection. Yeah, I got a big collection of probably a big wall of media there, movies. But like I said, that's a lifetime. That's a lifetime of collecting. I only have a couple thousand records. There's people in the vinyl community with 10,000 records, 15,000 records. I don't think my recollection is as big as people think. There's no reason to be jealous of me, please. If you knew the rest of my life, the other 23 hours a day I'm not listening to vinyl, there's nothing to be jealous of my life. I have a very lonely life. I have a very tough life. I'm not rolling in cash. I'm rolling in debt, people. So please, I can't work. I haven't been able to work for a year because of the pandemic. You don't think that's hurting me? I sell things to buy things. I don't just buy my vinyl out of, money doesn't fall out of the air to buy my vinyl. I sell vinyl. I sell other things. I sell figurines. I sell pops. I sell a lot of different things. I do have a lot of little fingers in different things to generate money. Turn that money, turn this thing into money to buy that thing. That's how you collect. Bravo, Anthony, for taking care of your mother. My grandmother lived with me the last few years of her life. My mother has lived with me before and will again. I will care for her. Good for you. I'm Jorgen S. I'm a straight edge guy myself. Not drinking, smoking, or doing drugs. Never and never will. Good for you. Yeah, it's amazing how much money you can have, people, if you don't drink and smoke and all that stuff. It's amazing how much money you can have for your record collections. Hello, Groovy Lisa. I love you. These trolls have nothing better to do. Exactly, Lisa. Andre. Yeah, many of those other live streams are just a bunch of gossip. Mike Mason, Anthony, you have inspired me to start building my Pet Shop Boys CD collection, starting with the Further Listening series. Lisa Tedesco, Anthony, you will never satisfy the bullies, and the bullies will won't have compassion for you. 90% of people. But sticking up for yourself and speaking your truth is important, and I applaud you for doing so. Yeah, I figured on a 1 year anniversary, I might as well just, I don't bitch and moan. Well, I probably have bitch and moaned on streams, but that's because I have anxiety attacks. Certain streams have given me anxiety attacks on the stream. So, it's there. And Project Gemini's here. I'm going to let him on. I'm going to put the link in the channel now. I've had my bitch. I've had my moan, people. I needed to get it out. I've kept away from live streams for a week and a half to just think about my future, because a week ago, or maybe not a week ago, but a few days ago, I was seriously considering leaving the violent community completely, ending my channel on the anniversary of my 1 year. I was going to just say goodbye. I'm done. I don't need the toxicity. I don't need to be disrespected on a daily basis. I don't need to be picked on or teased. It's just, everybody has their limit, and I'm at my limit. I'm at my limit. I don't need it anymore. So I was seriously considering completely finishing with the vinyl community. But then I realized over the course of this week, and I would drop in on various streams, and I'd hear my name still being mentioned. People make funning. Like, that's another thing that pisses me off. You make fun of people, call them out by name on another stream when they're not there, like behind their back. Like, have the courtesy to talk to them face to face. Like, talking about people that can't defend themselves when they're not on the stream, when they're not there, making fun of them when they're not there. That's just sad, people. That's fucking sad. So enough with that shit too. It's just, so I was going to leave, but then I realized that these live streams that I do have the toxicity from and the disrespect, it's only, like 50 people. And probably only, 20 or 30 of them are actually members of the vinyl community. The rest are just people that watch streams. And I said, you know what? There's thousands of people in the vinyl community, and I'm really worried about 20 people. That's nothing. It's nothing. 20 or 30 people out of the, there's millions of channels on YouTube. The vinyl community is probably 0.0000001% of the, of YouTube. Look at gaming channels with millions of followers and all that. We're the vinyl community. We're nothing on YouTube. We're like this. We're this much in the grand scheme of YouTube, people. And the trolls and the people that hate me, I probably need a microscope to actually see them. So when I actually realized that and thought about that, and I said, no, I'm going to keep my channel going, concentrate on my videos, concentrate on my streams. And I will drop in on Rachel's stream and some of the other streams once in a blue moon, but I'm not going to hang around long. I'm not going to hang around to the point where I'm getting disrespected and made fun of. And that's that. So let's get some people on here. Let me post the, how do I do this again? Oh, it's been so long. Guests, invite a guest, copy the clipboard, and post that in the chat. Give me a sec, folks. I have to do this very close to my phone. There we go, folks. Live stream's open. Come on in. Anybody want to join? And we're going to talk about music now. I got some new things to show at some point. I'm going to show you some new things that I've picked up since New Year's. And we'll just see where it all goes. Anybody wants to join, I welcome anybody to join the live chat. And thanks for listening. For those that listened through my entire rant, thanks for listening to my rant. I needed to get it off my chest. And let's look forward to a year 2 of AGK's Vinyl Life being even better than year 1. And here's Mark Anthony K.
Hey. What's up?
So how was my rant, Mark?
It was good. It was good. I mean, listen.
Good?
Look, you have to get it off your chest. I think that probably did more for your whole mental and emotional situation probably than I don't know what medication. That probably helped you.
Oh yeah, for sure. We all get to that breaking point. We all get to that breaking point. We sit quietly and put up with things and put on a smiley face and let people poke and poke and poke, but don't think that it doesn't hurt. And when you get off camera, that you're not hurting inside.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Well, honestly, Anthony, I mean, you know me very well. I mean, we've been friends for a while now, and
Yeah.
you know just as well as anybody else who follows me. I mainly just do my channel stuff where it's just me alone. I never do live streaming on my own channel, just mainly because I just don't like doing them as much. I like being on them. I just don't like hosting them very much. But I just go on there, do my little bit for my channel because I want to just promote my music, and people who are into my music are the ones that come on there, right? And the live streams, I know they can be hairy carry, they can get out of control quickly. And whenever I go on channels, I'm kind of the same way. I kind of go on for a little bit, talk about a few things with people, and then I usually get off, mainly because I have lots of other things I have to do as well, right? Like I do my own records and sending out stuff, so my time is limited as well. But I don't like spending a lot of time on there as well because there's so many people on there sometimes, and you get kind of lost in the shuffle too with those kinds of
and
streams.
sometimes I've realized now too also that it's as I'm not a big fan of the nighttime streams. Too many people drinking, they become a zoo. I don't mind the morning streams once. I don't mind dropping by in the morning stream for a little while, but I don't know how much I'm going to drop by evening streams where I see people drinking and just because I don't know. They're not vinyl community streams anymore. And here comes Jorgen S. Add him to the stream. And here comes Ron Beaudry. Let's add him to the stream.
Hey, Anthony.
Hey, everybody.
Mark and Jorgen.
Hey, Jorgen. And I got
Afternoon,
comments
folks.
here. Private chat. Hello, hello, hello. Oh, that's you guys.
Let me just say, Ron, that Anthony, that I think it was a very, very good rant that you did, actually, because I agree with a whole lot of you. I don't know if you saw that in the beginning. I wrote a blog article about it on my blog that where in the world does it say that a man that is over 40 needs to listen only to rock from the 60s and 70s plus or heavy metal? It sounds like today that if you're a man and reaches that age, you have to quit listening to what you did. Listen to the kid. You have to listen to the 60s and 70s and heavy metal. Period. And
exactly.
I don't like that myself. I like 70s. I like soul. I like singer-songwriters. That's it when it comes to 70s. Otherwise, I mean, my taste is in the dollar bins. Most of my taste is in the dollar
you're
bins.
lucky. Like here in Toronto where I live.
Dollar
bins are dollar bins for a reason.
Yeah.
they got a lot
so
of
what you have told about bullying and don't drink and so on, and I been there, done that myself. I know exactly what you're talking about. So you got my deepest respect.
I've been in the streams and they're like, Anthony must be super rich kid, blah blah blah. I'm not rich, people. I'm in debt like everybody. I'm living in a pandemic, trying to make everything float, trying to stay alive until I can get back to work. I pay Peter to sell Peter to pay Paul or whatever,
Yeah.
I buy records, I sell records, sell pop, my pop figures, I sell, figurines, this and that, money doesn't just fall out of the sky for me to buy my albums,
Right.
I don't have a money tree growing in my backyard. This isn't Animal Crossing where you can bury a bag of money and grow a money tree.
Anthony, I've said that a lot too on my channel about what people say, well, you got this, you got that. Hey, I'm 65 years old. It took my whole life to do it.
Exactly.
And I'm not driving a new car and I'm not having this or that because I've got certain priorities and this is what I have got. It's not nothing special that other people couldn't do if they really wanted to, but it's just my priority. It's not.
And then I've had, like I said about the elitists, I've had the elitists say to me, well, Anthony, if you didn't have all that crap, you could buy a $500,000 stereo system.
You don't want
a $500,000 stereo system. Maybe I like all the other stuff I have.
Anthony, if you wanted that would be a priority and you'd have it.
Exactly. I started out with a suitcase record player. Everybody surprised. I started
Everybody
out with
did.
what was a 1969 version of a Crossley. It was an RCA and it was a suitcase and it had a plastic tone arm. It had a volume control and that was it. And I had that for like a couple of years. And to make it stereo, when I got a little bit of technical savvy when I was like 12 or 13 years old, I undid the screws, lifted up the platter, found the leads where the speaker that was underneath was, and found this old speaker that I'd ripped out of some other thing. I didn't remember where that was from. And I touched 2 wires of it and stuck it a few inches away from the other record player so that I could have what was stereo, even though it was not stereo, it was mono, but I had 2 speakers. So, like I grew up, I didn't have a fancy record player.
Hey, Nick,
I had
see you
that for
later.
a couple of years. And then my first actual turntable was one that I'd ripped out of, those big consoles from the 60s and 50s. They were like beautiful wooden consoles. They had the AM FM stereo in them. You had a door that had the old turntables where were like on a bouncy spring platter thing. You know the ones I'm talking about. I ripped one of those turntables out of my grandma's old. She had an old console, and I actually still have the cabinet in the back room there. Everything's gone from it, but I ripped the turntable out of that record player, I guess as it was called back then, because it had the little thing where you put the record on the top and it would drop. When you turned it on, it would drop down onto the platter, and then the arm would go on. So I pulled that thing out. I soldered on some RCA jacks onto the back of it so I could plug it into my first stereo amp, which was a Realistic from Radio Shack that I got for my parents for Christmas, I think around 1975. And that was my turntable for probably till like mid 1975, 76. That was my turntable. It was this old 60s freaking turntable until I could afford to buy my first little Techniques, So...
Yeah. Well, I think you made your point pretty clear. I think people know what's going on now more so than before. So what's up with you, Jorgen? What's going on with you?
Well, it's pretty white outside.
Yeah, we're pretty white here too.
Yeah, it's pretty white over here too. So any new records, Jorgen?
Not today, but I.
See you, Nick Panzetti. Nice to have you.
I bought this one last week. I think this one was really great. It's a pretty special record because it's no drums, no bass. It's only Oscar Peterson and Roy Eldridge together in a duo. And Oscar Peterson plays the organ in some parts. And I think this one is extremely interesting and very, very well made. 70s recording. It's a Pablo release.
Cool.
So, but it has been pretty low now a couple of weeks. So not all that much, as I can remember.
Well, I finally got this. If you notice that I'm wearing right now, this "Death by Rock and Roll" T-shirt by the Pretty Reckless. It says Pretty Reckless on the back. If I turn around, It's got Pretty Reckless on the back. I ordered this May 8th, 2020.
Wow.
May 8th. It was a limited edition T-shirt that Pretty Reckless, who were working on their 4th studio LP at that time, and they had just released the first single from it. And they had this limited edition T-shirt. There weren't very many of them made. And I ordered this May 8th and waited until 2 days ago when it finally arrived.
Did you email them? I know you're emailing somebody about
I emailed them like in the because it was when I ordered it May 8th, it said it would ship in July. So fine. It never shipped. I emailed them at the end of July. Oh, there's a production delay. Then a month goes by, end of August. I emailed them again. Oh, there's a production delay. What sort of production delay is stamping a pattern on a T-shirt?
I'm telling you, yeah. Hello.
Like, come on, people. We're not like, it's not complicated. Print the pattern on a shirt and mail it. So they finally mailed it at the beginning of December. I think I emailed them a couple more times, October. I think I mailed them again in October and then November. Same thing. Production delay. We'll let you know when it ships. Blah, blah, blah. It was getting ridiculous. Well, you can cancel your order and you can have your money back if you want. And it was like, no, I've already waited 6 months. I want my shirt, damn it. I want my shirt. So then December, they mail it out. Nothing. I wait. It says, please allow 4 to 6 weeks delivery because it's coming from the U.S., somewhere in the U.S. So fine. I wait till mid-January. Nothing. I email them again. They go, oh, here's the tracking number. They go, I email them after 6 weeks. They go, here's the tracking number. It's been delivered. I go, what? So I take this tracking number. They send me the tracking number in mid-January. I look it up. It shows that it was delivered 2 days before Christmas. I'm like, I never got no fucking shirt. So I'm telling you, this summer, if I see somebody walking around in my neighborhood with a limited edition Pretty Reckless t-shirt, I'm going to clock them. Because somebody in my neighborhood
Hey,
got a
Lisa.
freaking shirt.
Lisa had a question, and I think that'd be fine. Maybe you should just name it my top 20 artists instead of my top 20 records or something. That's fine.
It actually works to name albums also, but I think you should have a little special if you want to do it. Not only sit and talk, naming records after records and not showing, but you can do special about it if you want to do an effect about and a little special video effects where you show the title with a special font or something like that. So it depends on how you do it, how you do your video. Imaginary.
Well,
it's not about
it's not
about how many records you have. It's about, like Anthony said, about sharing the love of music and artists and showing people and try to help people to learn about records and stuff. So that's great. That's all it's about. You don't have to actually have the record. You can just make a video about my favorite artists in 2020.
Couple of years ago, I did one of these year in reviews where I did kind of nomination award show when I get nominees and so on, and one of them were best song of 2020.
Tell her, Richie.
Have any of them on single and anything? I had to just show the names and name a winner.
Interesting.
So yeah, I finally got this one 2 days ago, and the day before that, I got the album, which I had pre-ordered, which I'll show in a little while. The album actually just dropped.
Yeah, it's probably best just to do what you feel is you're most comfortable with. I mean, for me personally, I hardly do barely any VC like geared videos. I've only recently have I done one where I showed some of my 7-inch David Bowie singles that I have, and I showed like a recent vinyl finds I had, but usually, I don't do them too much because, there's so many of these videos out there anyways of people showing their, latest finds and this and that. But, I just like to focus more on my stuff because that's just what my channel is for.
Yeah,
well,
when I come to your channel, I'm looking for Project Gemini updates mostly. That's why I'm there.
Yeah, if you really wanted to do VC videos, you should have a VC. I would say don't put it on your Project Gemini channel, but have a VC channel. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well,
it's just like my
I am also,
when I was a photographer,
as a fan, I'm interested in what you're listening to, Mark. That's very interesting to me as well.
Yeah, that's why I do it once in a while, because I know a lot of people have asked me, like, hey, do you listen to this, or what influenced you as a musician? It's not. That's why I sometimes like to show those records, because when I show an Iron Maiden record or an early Yes album, I can refer back to that and say, when I heard this record, I first started getting into guitar playing,
Right, cool. That's cool.
And Lisa, remember also that it's your channel. No one else's channel. You do what you want on your own channel. That's most important.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
definitely.
Don't worry about all the other stuff. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, it's your channel, so you can be yourself on your channel, and you don't. And the one thing, like I had said in my rant video, that I get disrespected and this and that on other streams and stuff. One thing, the big positive of my first year in the VC, my first year anniversary, is I look at all my videos I've dropped on my channel, and I've always had positive comments. So that's what matters. I've had maybe 4 negative comments in the entire year on my videos, which I just deleted. Block and delete.
I've been in the vinyl community for 7 years, and I can't remember ever having a negative comment.
But the live stream's a different story.
Live streams the real persons comes along. In live streams, the real persons, you have the chance to actually meet the persons eye to eye, and in what could be somewhat of a real situation when you meet someone, and then the real you comes along a whole lot other than in a camera when you're going to tape your recording, and then you can prepare in a whole different matter.
And from the vinyl community, when I look at the last year, I had met David Michael, Naz Nomad, before I started my channel, and he certainly guided me in what to do with my channel, how often to make videos. He was very, very, very helpful to me for starting a channel, and certainly over the last couple of years, and this year our friendship has grown and grown and grown. And the one great thing about the VC that I love about the VC is, for example, I met David Michael. We've become close friends. He's a huge Golden Earring fan, a completist like me. And my entire life for 60 years, I did not know anybody that loved Golden Earring. Nobody. It was always a band that I had to like enjoy and love by myself. And I met somebody like David, and it's so wonderful to share a band with somebody else and be able to talk to that person about a band and be excited with that person about a band and their recordings, you know. And that's one thing that the VC has given me, is some artists that I love that I never grew up in my entire life knowing anybody that liked them, that I
Ron,
now
I think you're muted.
have made friends and now know these people, and we can talk about these bands.
Hey, Anthony, what am I over here? Some chopped liver? I don't know nothing about Golden Earring.
No, you surprised, you shocked me on the last, like you never said anything until that last stream when you started pulling up your Golden Earring.
Well, I've shown them on different streams. I guess you weren't there, so you don't want to show the same thing over and over. I just, you don't want to try to do that, but
exactly. So yeah, that's the one great thing about the vinyl community is I have met some great people, made some good friends, certainly more than the toxic ones, and that share similar interests in music.
Christopher Pettersson says Jürgen needs to show more of the 1, 2, 3 Kid, though, the wrestler. As far as I know, Sean Waltman hasn't done any records, so it's a little hard though.
Yeah. The only thing he's done, I think, last was a very, very bizarre video. I think he did not long ago.
Yeah, One Night in China.
yeah, exactly.
Who?
Sean Waltman. He's a wrestler.
He made an X-rated movie with his then girlfriend, China, Joni Laura.
You remember the wrestler Anthony with the 1, 2, 3 Kid? He was in WWE, and then he joined the NWO in the WCW. He was known as.
I followed WWF. I followed WWF, and then I drifted away from it. For like 20 years, and then a few years ago, I got back into WWE again.
I think he's most famous as six in the X-Pac in DX.
Yeah. So
but I wasn't watching WWE when the NWO was around.
Yeah,
and that era.
Yeah,
that's right, Richie.
Everyone is always talking about Golden Earring. How about talking about McCartney 3?
No, haven't we mentioned that enough in this? We haven't talked about anything since
There's no sarcasm allowed on this program.
I just ignore it. See, on my stream, I can just ignore it. Mainly because my phone, everything's on my phone, and my eyesight's so bad I can't read any of the comments anyhow. And Mark's here now, so he's our comment guy now, because I can always rely on Mark to be reading the comments. Because I can't. I gotta bring up my iPad here and look at them on the iPad.
Christopher, 1, 2, 3 Kid never beat Razor Ramon when he was 1, 2, 3 Kid. Razor Ramon beat him in a dive match, but he did beat another. He's a former European champion, tag team champion, and he's a Hall of Famer. So he beat a lot of guys when he was X-Pac.
Yeah. He had a pretty interesting career, to be quite honest. I mean,
yeah. From what I know, he has gotten down to earth and calmed himself amazingly during the past years.
Yeah. But speaking of McCartney, just for 1 second, I have to put this out there. This whole McCartney 3 business that everybody was talking about, I'll tell you one thing. I have not heard a single note of that album, and I think I'm going to keep it that way because I've heard so much about it just on these streams. I think I don't even want to take a listen to it.
It's funny you say that, Mark, because I pre-ordered when they were dropping that Third Man Records thing. I just happened to be around at the time when the Third Man Records orders went up, so I ordered one for the hell of it because it was $30. Mm-hmm. And I said, if I don't like it, I can always just sell it on Amazon, Discogs or whatever. And of course, now they're going for $2,000 or $3,000.
Yeah.
But I still haven't received it. Third Man Records still hasn't shipped it to me.
What in the world?
May I just put on my dummy hat and say that I was totally wrong. I totally forgot. Of course, he did beat Razor Ramon. That's why he got the name 1, 2, 3 Kid when he was a loser. But when he was a jobber. That's why he beat Razor Ramon. So that's right, Christopher. My mind totally slipped that first thing he did, but so on to the show.
On to the show.
Have you looked for your record, lady? It might be over on your neighbor's driveway. You never know.
Yeah, could be. No, it shows it's still sitting in the black hole of. It went into the black hole of Chicago in December and never left.
And I thought Mississauga was bad. They were calling Mississauga's distribution center the black hole of mail in Canada.
Chicago is a big black hole. Chicago is a big black hole.
Yeah, it's interesting how this whole mail system is going. I mean, I've literally sent out about a half dozen CDs lately, and I've had CDs go to Sweden, to Germany, to Switzerland, and they've gotten there and people messaging me back saying, "Oh, I got my CD. That was really quick." And I still have people in Florida waiting.
No.
Like, it's unbelievable the difference in sometimes how these mail systems work. Like, sometimes it takes longer to get to Florida than it does to Switzerland, which is just boggles the mind to me.
Yeah, I've got. I had one record. Actually, it was a CD that I bought beginning of December. It was being shipped from the UK from Rare Waves, which I bought a lot of things from, and it never arrived. And I emailed them. It never arrived by the due date, which I think was January 19th or something like that. And of course, you can't email them until the due date expires, right?
Yeah.
Till the maximum date. So I emailed them. They refunded my money because they no longer have any more of them in stock. So, and that one just, I don't know, it's gone, it's lost. I mean, it's, the end of February now. It's 3 months ago they mailed it. So I think it's safe to say it's gone into the black hole of somewhere.
Yeah, exactly. So Ron, I was watching that you put up a new video about the Blue Notes on your channel there. I didn't get a chance to watch it yet, but I'm going to be watching it very soon. Yeah. So I am kind of curious about that. Like, have you found them pleasing, or do you find them to be overly hyped, or what?
I got 2 videos up, bro. You'll have to watch to find out, viewers. Make sure you tune in to Rock and Ronnie, subscribe, share. No, I'm just kidding.
Subscribe. You got to do like this, Ron. Remember? Subscribe.
We can talk about it. I've made 2 videos. One about the Tone Poet, because I had Donald Byrd in flight. I bought the original in '75. I've had it ever since. The shrink finally fell off of it. I made a point of talking about that too. You got to talk about all this stuff. And compared to both of them. And the Tone Poet is so much better when you drop the needle. It's like, oh my goodness, listen to the music on this thing. It's compared to that. Okay. Then I made another one about the Sidewinder, which is the classic version, right? The new one, 2021 version now. They call them the classic series. And Michael, 45 RPM guy, he made a video yesterday about his experience. And so mine is very similar, but maybe not as the same. So I kind of revisited the 45, 33, Deep, Direct Metal Master, Digital, all this stuff. And I made a video about all that. Talked about kind of what Michael was talking about, but my experience was, and at the end of the day, the Tone Poets and the 80s and all those, they are more of a lively presentation. Them horns is like jumping off the speakers. You get some of them records that are so good, it's like the stuff's almost jumping out of there. And with that, because he was calling it like they have an extra pop to them, a little more jump, right? And with all that does come a little bit more detail. You hear a little bit more of the sticks hitting the cymbal. You hear a little bit more because of that. It's not just on the presentation, it's the whole. So I talked about the recording processes in '85 that was state of the art back then in the record I had. The process they use in '08 or '07 when they made those double LP 45s. And now Kevin Gray's just doing 33. So at the end of the day, I said, I had that 80th record, right? Or the new ones that are coming out.
Yeah.
And I said, if you like an audiophile Gray record, the music's jumping off the speakers, and you want to pay $20 and you want a 33 and a third, that's for you right there. It's an amazing record.
Yeah. Well, that's good to know, because I venture to say there's a huge difference when you're buying a 45 RPM as opposed to 33.
I'll be right back.
But here's the thing. The 45s were done at Acoustic by Kevin Gray.
Mm-hmm.
He leaves that. There's a big mess that went on, so they kind of dissolved that over there.
Mm-hmm.
He starts Coherent Audio in California. He goes over there. He gets the guy that has Audio Quest wires. He's one of his friends. He's an audiophile.
Yeah.
So he knows the sound that audiophiles are going for. He knows that whole thing. He knows what kind of capacitors to put in there, what kind of all that stuff, what you need to get. And Kevin Gray's no dummy. He knows the type of lathe cutting machines and all that you need to get. That's the top of the line, right?
Yeah.
So they're going for the best you can get. Not how can we do it to make the cheapest records like everybody else is trying to do. How can we make these the best there ever? So now, here about 5 years ago, the guy that was making the Music Matters records, right?
Mm-hmm.
Those are the 2 LP 45 RPM. They got a bunch of titles, and so did Chad Kasem over at Acoustic Sounds. They got a bunch of titles as well, and they both made the 2 LP 45 RPM records.
Yeah.
But they made them at Acoustic, and that was at RTI, and they got them plated at RTA and pressed at RTA. It was everything in house, but they provided the tapes, right? Actually, Blue Note was providing the tapes, obviously. So now that's almost 15 years ago technology. Mm-hmm. Now they're taking the record and they're going. So what Music Matters did, it was right in that time period when Kevin moved. Okay. Yeah. So he reissued a record that he did originally on the 45 over at Acoustic. Yeah. Then that was out of print. So it was a really good seller. So he wanted to reissue. He had the right to make some more. So now Kevin's going, listen, I don't need to make 2 LP 45 anymore. My stuff is so good, I can do it on 33. So they made a 33 record. And I was reading in the chat, I think it was over at Hoffman Forums or whatever, they're asking the question, how come these 33 sound better than the 45s? What's going on? How is that possible? It's just the technology is getting better and better since 85 and 05 and 2021. So these 33 and the third, I think, is actually better than the 45. But I got other folks that are called 45 RPM guy. They kind of like the 45, but it's more of a laid back presentation, right? Yeah. That stuff's not really jumping off the speaker like it is on those new ones. Yeah. It's not in your face as much.
Yeah.
But you lose a little bit of that. But he likes the laid back. He thinks it sounds, and I was thinking about it too. He is English is not his first language, so he might have a harder time describing what he's hearing. So he's just saying, this one sounds more audiophile to me than this one. Mm-hmm. Or more, it sounds more, not audiophile. He said it sounds more analog than this one.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're both analog.
Because I have a 45 RPM of Peter Gabriel 2, the scratch record there. And I also have a 33 RPM of that as well. And it's exactly how you say as well. The 45 kind of sounds more top end clarity. There's a bit more spreading of the sound stage. It's a little bit more like it's almost like high definition Blu-ray compared to like regular DVD in a kind of comparison, right?
Exactly. But that's a good way to put it.
Yeah, but I mean, I like both for different reasons. You know what I mean? If I'm in the mood for high clarity, high definition, then I'll go for the 45. If I'm interested in just having a kind of a warm, kind of mellow kind of audio version of it, then I'll go for the 33. I mean, that's the beauty of having both, right?
A lot of people don't like the 45 because they don't like the fact that they got to get up every 5 minutes, So they like 33. So I said, if you like 33 and you like great sound, you got to and you like spending $20 right here. This is the one.
My 45 collection in the shelf.
Nice.
And if people want to come in, let me just post that link again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because Anthony, I'm probably gonna have to go in about 10 minutes. I got to make dinner for me and my mom.
Yeah, my wife was calling me a little bit ago too. So
I can answer a question that I got from Christopher. He asked me whatever happened to Torsten, to Swedish wrestling announcer, commentator Bruno Arvidsson. I think he works in a car factory, and he also have a wrestling blog called "Don't Try This at Home."
Oh, really? He doesn't work for AEW like everybody else seems to be working now?
No, it was the Nordic Eurosport channel that hired him once for commenting in WWE's the week show, and
okay.
So it's a Swedish commentator that have become legendary in Sweden among Swedish wrestling fans.
Yeah, because it's interesting because WWE is one of those wrestling companies that have multiple broadcasting. Like they have the Punjabi commentators, they have the German commentators, the Mexican commentators. I'd be surprised if they didn't have some Swedish commentators. You know,
Sweden. I think they still have. It took them at least half a decade to actually get to Sweden. 2017, they had a house show in Sweden. It was the first
really?
ever that they did a show in Sweden. So Sweden is definitely not a market that they're putting very high on. So I would be very surprised if they would have a Swedish commentator.
My mother, who turns 94 years old tomorrow, discovered WWE.
Thanks, Liam.
WWE 2 years ago, almost 3 years ago.
Hey, Anthony, I want you to do me a favor.
What?
I want you to buy a birthday card for your mom, put my name on it, and give me your PayPal. I'll send you some money. I want it. Wish her happy birthday. You don't need to send
me money for a birthday card.
I want to get your mom up. She's so sweet, his mother. If you've ever met her, man, she's like the sweetest gal in the world. She loves her son so dearly, which is I like.
She turns 94 years old tomorrow. I watched WrestleMania 3 years ago with her, and she loved it and told me that she and my dad used to watch wrestling all the time. And now my mother watches Raw and SmackDown every week for the last 3 years. And I do that with her. I sit down with her and we watch Raw and SmackDown together every Monday and every Friday for the last 3 years. My mother absolutely loves it. 94-year-old. It gets her blood going, I think.
Unbelievable.
She just gets her blood moving.
Question.
So like tomorrow they have one of those pay-per-view events, the Elimination Chamber is tomorrow.
Yeah.
So they have the Elimination Chamber. And we got the subscription to the WWE channel thing. So for her birthday, she's all excited for her birthday to watch the
Amen. That's right. That's what I'm thinking.
I got some questions here. Torres Ryder wants to know about Kane. Yes, I know that Glenn Jacobs is a major, and he was in the Royal Rumble match this year.
Undertaker. Yeah, he made an appearance.
I wanted to stop by and say congratulations on having a year, and you're always welcome over to my place. We don't have any drama, and I kind of try to cut it short, but I'm going to head off.
I know, Ron. I know.
We'll see you, Mark and Jorgen. Take care, everybody.
Yeah, I'll see you when you do a stream.
Christopher Kane isn't Undertaker ripoff. Kane is Undertaker's brother.
Yeah.
He's Undertaker's brother.
Yeah. And Radio Gnome wants to know if I watched Big Dad and Giant Haystacks. Big Dad I haven't watched. That is too old for me. Giant Haystacks I have seen when he was in the WCW as Loch Ness. It's a part of the Dungeon of Doom.
Oh, wow.
It wasn't definitely the best thing I've seen, but it has a size to become a star, no doubt about
it. There's a group that I haven't heard about in a long time, the Dungeon of Doom. That was with Sullivan, right?
Yeah, let's just say that it's not something that you really want to talk about often.
Yeah, they weren't exactly the best group.
I'm not familiar with those guys.
It was a kind of a creepy group. It's supposed to be a creepy group by Kevin Sullivan with Brutus Beefcake as
Brutus the Barber.
Brutus the Barber. I had mind slip what his name was. You have Earthquake as Shark, and they're supposed to be scary characters, but it looks like like they have escaped from a nut house.
Yeah. Well,
yeah, some things they create work really well, and some just fall flat.
Yeah, they fell flat.
Right now they have this Roman Reigns head of the table crap stuff where he's supposed to be the leader of his frickin' tribe or something. I'm sorry, he can't make a villain out of Roman Reigns. He just doesn't. Yeah, but he doesn't look like a villain.
But the thing is, Roman Reigns actually comes from a legitimate wrestling family. The Wild Samoans are all direct,
for sure. Yeah,
direct from,
and
and that's where he gets the
Rock's
tribe
cousin.
thing from.
I-
That's
I
where he
like
gets the
Rock's
tribe
cousin.
thing.
I'm going
But they
to
got
show
this whole head of the table thing, and I think the storyline or whatever they're doing, yeah, it just doesn't fly.
I actually going to say that I think that Roman Reigns' current head of the table character is the best thing he has done since.
You think so? I don't know.
Yeah, I
like
think
the
so
big
too.
dog. I was a big dog fan.
Since he was a part of. I mindfully
Shield.
Shield. Since he was,
yeah.
he was the best, because Roman Reigns finally has found his own character. He's not.
I'll give you that. I just don't care for the whole storyline of the Paul Heyman, the picking on the Usos right there.
What I do like is
you have to bow down to the tribal
acting.
chief and all that stuff. I don't know.
I like his acting because he is the kind of he talks very slowly, very quiet, and he does it in a very, very creepy way of acting. I like Roman Reigns' current character. Actually, the best thing he has done since Shield.
Yeah, I think so too. I didn't mind Shield. I thought Shield was actually pretty good, but I think that this is probably his best character. When he was alone, he was getting no heat at all. Like, I mean, he nothing was working for him. Everybody was booing him all the time, and he tried to do that whole "I'm not a good guy, I'm not a bad guy, I'm the guy" bit, right?
Yeah.
The problem with Roman Reigns' character then was that he was nothing more than the lone survivor of Shield. He had the same entrance, he has the same clothes, he was the Shield breakout. That's all that he was. He didn't have his own character. Now he does.
Yeah,
true enough.
exactly.
I just don't care for the storyline sort of thing.
But honestly,
the character is good, but do something better with the story.
I don't watch WWE very much at all. I mainly watch New Japan Pro Wrestling, and I mainly watch AEW as well, because Kenny Omega has always been one of my favorite wrestlers of all time. That guy is an incredible wrestler, and his matches with Okada in New Japan were like unbelievable. The only 6-star match ever done by Wrestling Insider, right? I mean, that was one of the best wrestling matches you'll ever see.
I watch the clips of the shows. I watch Raw and Nitro clips from WWE's YouTube channel, but I don't want to watch entire channels. Nowadays, I try to go back in time and try to learn myself a lot about wrestling history. So I watch old 80s USWA shows, old NWA shows to learn more about the old stars, the old school.
Yeah.
That is what I watch most these days. Plus, all WWE from the days when I couldn't watch wrestling in the 90s, when we didn't have it on television back then, when I had to sell for WWE, buying WWE magazines.
Yeah. Okay, so hang on. We have Liam here who's asking me, Mark, do you think Yes will continue with the current lineup when they get back to normal? Alan White doesn't look well enough to be touring for them, etc. Well, you know what? I'm good friends with Billy Sherwood. And whenever we were talking about this, the fact is they are going to be touring with this lineup. Alan White has not been a full-time drummer for Yes now for the last 3-4 years. It's actually been Jay Shellen who's been drumming for them now pretty much permanently. And Alan White just kind of appears for maybe a song or two in the encore because his back is totally shot. That guy can't do a whole set anymore at all. But he's there pretty much now as a figurehead. Like whenever they tour, he's the one who does all the interviews for them at the radio stations. He's the one who does all the big, releases on the internet when they talk about, what's coming up and what's going on. In fact, he was the one who leaked the fact that they have a record pretty much done coming out, which he shouldn't have done, according to Billy. Steve Howe was kind of upset about that he did that. But, they're going to continue. Their band is very strong now. They got John Davison on vocals. He's fantastic. Steve Howe still ready to go. Jeff Downs is still playing keyboards for them. So they're ready to go. It's going to be a good band.
I think that any band of what I call the legendary bands of the 70s, if they want to survive and keep going and carry the tradition on now, they're all getting old. All these guys are in their 60s, 70s. You have to pass the torch to new players in your band. Keep the band name. Bring in new players. Deep Purple have brought in new players. They're stronger than ever. Yes has been doing it. Alice Cooper has constantly been evolving his band. He's still around. He's still the voice. I'm really, really, really excited about his new album coming out this Friday. I've heard it now. He did a post. He can go on YouTube. There's a 12-minute a sampler where it goes through all of the songs on the album, plays like a minute of them. I think this is Alice Cooper's best album since Billion Dollar Babies. It sounds spectacular. All these Detroit musicians playing on the album. He's got the original Alice Cooper band playing on the album. You know, Dennis Dunway, Mike Brute, all the original guys are there playing on it, as well as he's got members of Grand Funk Railroad playing on it. He's got Joe Bonamassa playing on it, an amazing guitarist. And I've heard the tracks, and I am so excited for this album. It's straight. It's not, like, what people would say is Alice Cooper, ghoulish, the ghoulish stuff. It's a straight up Detroit rock and roll album. It's Under My Wheels. It's I'm 18. It's Under My Wheels. It's Detroit rock. It's straight up rock songs. No, that what you'd think Alice Cooper would be singing about the graveyards and the blah, 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 blah. It's balls to the wall, rock and roll, 15 tracks. I am so excited. I've heard it. I cannot wait for my deluxe box set vinyl thing to come.
I'm going to, the clock is passing midnight here. So I'm going to.
Yeah, you're in Sweden.
Yeah, so I'm going to sign off and prepare for bed. So, all
right, take care, Jorgen.
It was really nice to see you, Jorgen.
Stay strong, Anthony.
Thank you. See you soon, my friend.
Take care.
Bye.
So Sarasota Joe put here, should the Rolling Stones bring in new players?
Yes,
well,
I think they should.
It's the same theory. If the Rolling Stones want the name to continue and carry on, they're going to have to. I mean, the fact that Charlie Watts is actually still drumming is an absolute miracle, in my opinion. I mean, not that he's playing anything really hard or anything, but still, I mean, it's still, drums are a hard instrument to play, especially when you get to that age. I think definitely if they want to continue, bring in other players. And just before we continue on, there's been a running rumor now on the internet that Evan Stanley, Paul Stanley's son, they're saying, should he come in and replace his father for Kiss? I've said that years back on the Kiss podcast. I said that I suspect that he'll come in, and I also suspect that Gene Simmons' son, Nick, will come in and replace his own father in Kiss. And then
you see a lot of siblings coming into their parents' bands. Yeah. Certainly Jason Bonham played with, Zeppelin when they did the whole Celebration thing, and now Jason Bonham actually plays with a lot of different people, Joe Bonamassa's band being one of them. Yeah. You see Zach Starkey and people come like The Who. The Who have continued on because The Who's children are involved in the bands now. You know what I mean? And The Who, I've got I like the Who album that came out last year. It's a really strong Who album. And they've got a really good, we don't have John Entwistle, we don't have Keith Moon, whatever. It's still The Who. It's still The Who. You need new players in bands to carry the bands on. There's no reason why you can't have new players. What rule said that a band had to always remain with the same players?
Yeah, but Sarasota Joe put up a good point though too. Maybe when a band is done, they should just be done. And that's the thing. That's up to the band, I think. If the band says, "Listen, we should just end it and that's it," then yeah. I mean, I respect that. If a band wants to quit, but come on, actually do it. I mean, like The Who and these bands, they've had retirement and farewell shows like a half dozen times. I mean, if you're gonna do it, then just do it. You know what I mean? Otherwise, if you want to continue, then just continue. I mean, nobody should tell you when to stop. You're a musician.
Like Saga. Saga did their farewell tour a couple of years ago, released a studio album, did a farewell tour, and now Saga have got a brand new album coming out in March. Yeah, great. Go for it, guys. Who said you had to hang up your coats? Bring in new players, whatever it takes. Nazareth, Dan McCafferty, the voice of Nazareth, he couldn't sing anymore. He got COPD. He couldn't perform. He left the band. But you see, Pete Agnew is the only original Nazareth member now, the bass player. He's kept Nazareth alive. Pete Agnew's son now plays drums in the band. And they got a new vocalist. It's a new sound. They didn't try to replace Dan McCafferty with somebody that sounded like him. You know what I mean? It's a completely different sound, but you recognize the bass line, you recognize the song structure as being Nazareth, and it's great. Fine. If Pete hangs up his bass guitar and his son continues the band on after that, fantastic.
Yeah.
These bands.
Okay, so we have Dead Wax here saying too, Kiss can just stop playing, I won't miss them, which obviously we know how Dead Wax is. Randy's always good with these kind of little stabs. But that's the thing. I think a lot of people in the Kiss community are thinking the same thing. A lot of people, Randy, think that way as well. I mean, I host a Kiss podcast as well, the Kiss FAQ, and a lot of the people on there say that they'd rather just Kiss end it when Paul and Gene are done, and that's it. You know, and I respect that. If they want to keep it that way and just leave it that way, then great. You know,
it's like I mentioned a little while ago in my stream, Golden Earring, my favorite, one of my all-time #1 bands of all time, hung up their coat a few weeks ago, and when George was announced of having ALS, sure, Golden Earring could have replaced George with another lead guitarist, but they decided these 4 guys had been together for 50 years, and without George, it wasn't Golden Earring anymore. They could have easily, brought somebody else into play, sure, but they decided to, you know what, time to hang it up. We survived together for over 50 years as a band. There can be no other formation. Let's retire.
Yeah. And so we have TARDIS Rider here saying Allman Betts band is kids from many of the original Allman Band brothers, which is interesting. I didn't know about that. Me too, Randy. I won't be listening either way. I guess he's not a big Kiss person either. He also put here, the obvious question is, when does it stop being the band? Also referring to Jefferson Flying Object. So, I mean, look.
Jefferson Flying Object, yeah.
I mean, the point is, look, there was been a few bands, and I mean, I'm going to refer to Yes because there's actual video evidence of this, where Rick Wakeman went on record to say that he predicts that when he's dead and gone, that there will be a Yes in operation a long time after he's gone. Now, if he wanted that to happen, then they have to do exactly what they're talking about now. What we're talking about, bringing in young people to replace them, so it continues on. He kind of looks at it almost like a Philharmonic orchestra, like the Toronto Symphony Orchestra. There will always be one. Absolutely. It's just replaced by other people, It's
a name. It's a name. It's a sound. It's a sound, like a band has a sound to them. They have a song structure, and it's a name. Who plays the instruments really doesn't matter in the end if they can create the right sound that people love about that band.
Yeah.
Right.
True. Absolutely.
I mean, look at all the guitarists that have come in and out of Kiss, and they're in the makeup, right? Put the makeup on, put a guitar in their hand, and they've had different people come through since Ace Frehley went, so on. Yeah. You can do it. Why not?
Exactly. So we have here Lisa Tedesco saying, Randy, Mark K will solidly disagree with you probably. How are you tonight? I have nothing to do while I wait for Tony to fix our snowblower. Then we have Sarasota Joe saying, Celine Dion is taking over for Geddy Lee. I don't know where he got that information. I know it's probably a joke, obviously. Liam said, would like to see Yes freshen it up. Tempo of the band now is really slow. The jury is out on Jay as the drummer, in my opinion. Well, maybe, but I think the vast majority of people that I know within the community actually have accepted Jay, just like they've accepted Billy as Chris Squire's replacement in Yes. And I have to agree, though, with you about the tempo. They have been kind of pulling it back a little too slow for my liking as well. I think that it'd be better if they kind of bumped it up a bit, but I think that also has to do with Steve Howe a bit. I mean, he's not getting any younger, and maybe some of these licks are getting a bit harder to do at breakneck speeds as well. Dave, the pickup artist at Derek Trucks, lives a mile away from here, which is probably very cool for him. Deadwax 66, for the diehard fans, you want the band to continue on. Yeah, well, of course. I mean, diehard fans will want the band to go on forever and ever and ever, because, I mean, when the band continues, there's more chances of records and merch to come out and collectibles and stuff like that. So, of course, they want it to continue on, right? Go on.
Yeah, Miss Mayhem. I just thought Miss Mayhem's comment there was, and hello, Miss Mayhem. Nice to see you. Gene Simmons sucks. Well, doesn't he suck because he's a vampire?
Yeah, well, I mean, I'll say this. I know for a fact that a lot of women in general are not big fans of Gene Simmons because he has been kind of very
womanizer,
sexist in a lot of ways throughout the years, and he hasn't really made many friends amongst the female community. I'll say that for sure. Friends
amongst the male community, really, either, and his peers, unfortunately.
Yeah, exactly.
But I respect his ability to, be one of the front men of Kiss and to keep that band going. Like, I mean, Paul and Gene, they're just like, they're like Pete Townsend and Roger Daltrey. They're the two keeping it going,
Yeah, exactly. And we also have here Andre asking, does Jefferson Starship even have any original members left? I don't know. I'm not a big fan of Jefferson Starship.
Jefferson was based with Paul Kantner or whatever was based. I think the only one that was left when Jefferson Starship was formed, if I'm not mistaken. He was like the last surviving member of Jefferson Airplane and all that stuff.
Yeah.
I think he was the last man standing. I think as long as you have one man standing, it could still be the band.
Yeah.
Or even a descendant of that band. Like if we're talking Yes, eventually all the original players of Yes will be gone, but there'll be other players that came in over the years with Yes that became adopted and accepted as members of Yes.
You know what's interesting though? As of right now, there are no original members of Yes because Steve Howe was not the original guitar player. Peter Banks was. So the only person that's left is there's nobody. Alan White wasn't original. Bill Bruford was. Original keyboard player was Tony Kaye. He's not in the band.
Yeah, whenever a band seems to bring in a new player, I've noticed, let's say, like when 90215, when Drama came out, which is my favorite Yes album, everybody I knew in my friend circle, they were big Yes fans. I wasn't into Yes, and they were kind of trashing Drama, going, "Oh, this new voice, John Anderson's not here. It's not Yes anymore." Blah 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 blah. But it was the Yes album that grabbed me, and I think, and then when Trevor Rabin came in 90215. That's 90215?
90125.
90125. 900, whatever. When he came in, people were trashing it again because it wasn't Steve Howe. But after a couple albums with Trevor Rabin, once Big Generator came out, they were accepting him. I think whenever somebody enters a band, that first time, like that sophomore year when they first enter the band, they're always trashed. Oh, you're not what's this new guy in the band? But you got to earn your wings, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You got to earn their tenure in a band. And once a member's been in that band for an album or two, then they become part of that band. They become accepted. People are always fans are very hard on new members entering a band.
Yeah,
but,
agreed.
Like Billy Sherwood, Billy Sherwood enters, early in like Union or something, and everybody's like down, but now he's just,
well,
he's a member of Yes.
He got accepted because Chris Squire made it known that he was personally picking him to replace him. When he came down with the cancer, he said he wanted Billy to replace him. So there was nothing to argue about. There was nothing for the Yes fans to debate. They love Chris Squire, and when he said he wanted Billy, they fully accepted him into the band. There was no kickback at all for that.
Exactly.
So there you go. Next up, you have Lisa Tedesco saying, LOL, Joe, I have an awesome book by Geddy Lee, The Big Beautiful Book of Bass, which I have too, which is a fantastic book. Has nothing to do with anything we're talking about here. I just look for opportunities to bring it up because it's awesome. It is a great book. It's a book about all the basses that he's collected throughout the years. It's an amazing book. Fantastic. Then you have Christoph Peterson saying, have you heard Moon Safari, Mark Anthony K? Is that a band or in record? I probably have not heard it. TARDIS Writer is also see the Grateful Dead approach. After Garcia died, they never called themselves Grateful Dead, but they played together in various groupings as the Dead Company, and other names, but still continued. Yeah, that's a good point, right? Yes, Mark, totally agree. I think the tempo is down to Steve, which I think is true. Yes. Liam also put, would like to see Mike Portnoy in Yes. You know what? I wouldn't want to see Mike Portnoy in Yes. What I'd like to see is maybe Mike Portnoy do like a show or a special kind of tour with the remaining members of Rush. That I think would be absolutely fantastic because he can definitely pull off the Neil Peart stuff for sure. As much as I kind of don't like Mike Portnoy I think he's a little egotistical sometimes, but look, I think he's a brilliant drummer. He's definitely very talented and he loves Rush. That's the most important thing if you're going to come into Neil's spot. But I don't think they should continue as Rush. They should probably continue as a different kind of name in tribute to Rush and just have Alex Geddy and Mike Portnoy. I think it would be absolutely fantastic.
It's like Queen and Adam Lambert. They don't call themselves Queen. They brought in Adam Lambert and people bash Queen for it, saying, well, he's not Freddie Mercury. They're not calling themselves Queen. They're calling themselves Queen and Adam Lambert.
Yeah, exactly.
You can pull that off. You could be Rush and so-and-so, or Rush with so-and-so. You can pull it off.
Yeah, exactly. So you have Dead Wax here saying Yes is becoming No. So obviously he's not a big supporter of the Yes continuing, which is fine. I mean, everybody has their opinion to that, right? Then you have Dave, the pickup artist, saying Yes is one of the few rock bands that navigated the 80s successfully, which is very true. They were one of the few bands that I think that actually reinvented themselves and actually had a bigger audience in the 80s than they did in the 70s, which is absolutely incredible if you think about it.
the 80s was the test. If you when the bands from the 70s, if they survived the 80s, the ones that survived the 80s are still around today. Simple as that. You know, it's if they made it to 1990 and held a decent, you know, sales record and whatnot, enough to keep going, those ones are still around even today. The 80s, I think, was the toughest transition for bands that had started out in the 60s, 70s.
And then Dead Wax here put, not one XL Motorhead shirt in stock at the record store. I went today, and they have a ton of t-shirts. I guess he's saying that Motorhead, obviously their popularity is probably still at the height, since their shirts are probably selling out like crazy. I'm guessing that's what he's trying to get at, which is true, because I love Motorhead too. I don't know about you, Anthony, but
I actually, funny you mentioned that, because I was looking at the Amazon new releases yesterday, that dropped yesterday. I haven't bought much. Like since my last stream, I've got one new album. That's it. One new album, folks. The Death by Rock and Roll. Pretty Reckless. I pre-ordered it. And fantastic. But I did order one yesterday. My first one that I ordered yesterday. Because I didn't know it was coming out yesterday. It was one of those ones, like, normally you can see what's coming out on Amazon, you know. But I didn't see it in the list of things coming out yesterday, and it just appeared on Amazon for like $24 Canadian, which I thought was a really good price. Motorhead's Bomber.
Yeah.
And it's being re-released on a gray silver splatter or something. So I was like, I don't have that album in my collection. $24, limited edition. I bought it.
Motorhead were one of the loudest shows I've ever seen in my life. They were absolutely fantastic. So we got Christoph Peterson saying Moon Safari is a symphonic prog band from Sweden. Listen to A Kid Called Panic. I will definitely check that out, Christoph, because I'm into symphonic prog, as you well know. We have Sarasota Joe saying, Lisa Tedesco, cool. Geddy Lee's voice has always annoyed me. One of the best bass players I knew growing up, idolized his bass playing. So I guess I got to give him props. Yeah, look, his voice is not for everybody. And I'll openly admit that, being a lifelong Rush fan.
Most of the people that when I talk about in friend circles and whatnot, talk about Rush, they're like, Geddy Lee, I can't take the voice. And then I go, what album? What albums are you talking about? And they go, you just like that voice on 2112 and that one with the bird on the cover. And I can't. Geddy's voice changed a lot by the time he got to Moving Pictures and you know, Grace Under Pressure and you know, Signals and all that. He toned that screeching voice down. I think it became a much better voice. Maybe he was taking vocal lessons. Who knows? But his voice did change a lot. I got to admit that there are days, I mean, 2112 is one of my all-time favorite albums, but there's days I can't take the voice. You know what I mean? Sometimes I'll put it on and I'm like,
Well, the thing is with him, his voice it just became difficult for him to keep up that voice. I mean, right around Hemispheres, he was singing at probably his highest pitch that he had sung, and he said it was just becoming really really difficult for him to sustain that over like 190 date tour. Right?
I hate to see vocalists trashed because their voice changed and this and that, and it's like, you know, it's like Ian Gillan of Deep Purple. Everybody's like, oh, Ian Gillan sucks now, you know, and his Whoosh, the latest
guy's like
album,
70. Come on,
he can't hold those notes anymore. It doesn't matter. He still sounds great. The album still sounds great. He's got a different voice now. Whoop-de-doo. You know, you want to listen to that Ian Gillan voice? Go put on Deep Purple and rock.
You have to adapt. You have to adapt to what you can do. I mean, your voice changes when you're 70 years old. I'd like to see somebody sing like that when they're 70. I mean, it's pretty difficult.
It's stand up and sing. Period. Yeah.
Exactly. So you have your TARDIS writer saying, I just don't see Geddy Lee and Alex Lifeson doing that somehow. I agree. I don't think they would do that, but I'm just saying if they were to do that, I would love to see Mike Portnoy
I think they'd be like Golden Earring. You know, we lost a key figure. We're not going to go on. I mean, they're only a 3-piece and anyhow, so it's a bigger loss than a band with multiple players that had constantly, like, has had multiple players over the last 40 years, you know, or 50 years. They've had multiple players and had a larger lineup, you know, like 4 or 5-piece, 6-piece, whatever. So it's easier for them to go on as opposed to like a 3-piece when you're losing a third of the band. You know what I mean? Yeah,
exactly. So here we have Lisa saying, Randy, I hate it when they don't have any of my size, which is almost always. And then Randy agreed, saying, yeah. And then we have Liam saying, I love seeing Trevor Rabin back in ARW, a great tour with John and Rick. I did see ARW as well when they came to Toronto at Massey Hall. It was a fantastic show, I have to admit. That's also where I hooked up with Lee Pomeroy and Lou Molino, who were the drummer and bass player. And Lee Pomeroy actually played on my latest record. He played on the Sacred Sons song. Great guy, amazing bass player. I mean, he plays also with ELO, and he's also done a couple of other notable bands in the prog community as well. So he's a fantastic guy. I mean, Steve Hackett. I mean, the live record that Anthony you showed, I believe Lee Pomeroy played bass on that live concert.
That is as good, if not better, than any Genesis album I've ever heard. And the only person you've got on that album from Genesis is Steve Hackett. You got different drummers, you got different guitars, you got different keyboards, you got different vocalists, and that performance is as good as anything I ever heard Gabriel or Collins or any of the members of Genesis do. It is absolutely a spectacular performance.
Yeah, absolutely. So we have here Dave, pickup artist, saying, yes, should do one more Union tour with all the past members and call it a day. I mean, the thing is with that, they're in such conflict, you know, Rick Wakeman and these guys with Steve Howe, they're still kind of, you know, at odds with each other, or loggerheads, as they like to say. So I can't really see that happening. Andre said, I prefer the Dead's approach, change the name. The majority of the original members are gone, which we have agreed with. And then then Dave, the pickup artist, also said Primus was going to do a Rush tribute tour before the virus, where they do hemispheres. That would have been interesting because Primus is a very skilled band who could probably do that stuff easily. And you also have, you know, Les Claypool, who has not only a great bass player, but he also has a very unique voice. So I would love to hear what he would do with a Geddy Lee type vocal, especially that era.
Yeah, it's mentioned. You mentioned ELO with Lee Pomeroy there, and of course I saw ELO when they came to Toronto a couple of years ago, and it was absolutely spectacular. And you know, the only person left there is, you know, Jeff Lynne. Yeah. And for the tour he does have one of, I think it's the bassist. I'd have to look. One other member of ELO. But he doesn't call it ELO anymore, or Electric Light Orchestra.
Yeah, he calls it Jeff Lynne's.
It's Jeff Lynne's Electric Light Orchestra.
Yeah.
Exactly. So he can get away with it. He could even phase himself out at some point, and it would still be Jeff Lynne's Electric Light Orchestra, because the orchestra and the players he's got playing with him now are absolutely spectacular. So great.
Yeah. So Anthony, I've caught up you on all the comments on the board, and I'm gonna have to get going because I can hear that dinner's already ready.
It's about that time when you're normally going.
Yeah.
Anybody wants to come up, I've got the link out there. You're welcome to come on up.
Yeah.
I'll stay around for a little while more. I'll end it early if people don't, if there's no comments or people don't come on, but certainly people are welcome to join, talk about music, and I'll certainly answer any comments that are coming on. Yeah. Nice to see you, Mark. How's the vinyl progressing on before you go? What's the situation on your vinyl, and what's going on with Dark Monarchy update?
The vinyl for the Project Gemini is going pretty good. I'm waiting on the test pressings to come in. I'm also waiting for the records sleeves, like the album covers, to come in so I can start signing them and numbering them. I'm also waiting to get back my download cards, which are very cool. As you know, the last ones we did were like a really cool
flight ticket thing. Yeah.
Yeah. But this one's going to be a little bit different, but very cool as well.
Who does those? Is that does the record company do that, or just
no? I have a separate company outside.
Printing company.
Yeah, that does it for me. And that's going good. So I'm just waiting on that. That's on course. So everything's going nicely for that. The Dark Monarchy record is all written. I've been doing a lot of the guitar overdubs and doing the final guitar work.
So the writing's all done now? Completely?
All done. Yeah, all done. Everything written. We wrote 9 songs, way too much for one record. It's like 66 minutes worth of stuff, and I never put that much on one record. So we'll probably have enough.
CD, but then it doesn't translate to vinyl unless you're doing a double album.
Yeah, so we're gonna just do a single record and probably put out another EP somewhere down the line with the remaining music, it's going really good. I mean, I'm very happy with it. It's probably some of the best stuff I've done, honestly, in a long time. Joe's done fantastic work with some of the keyboard stuff, and it's incredible. I think you guys will really, really dig it if you like the last Dark Monarchy record. So so I'll leave it at that because I really have to get going here, Anthony. So Thank you for having me on here, and
Thank
thanks
you for
everybody
coming, as always.
Yeah,
Always
thanks
nice
everybody
to
for
see
all
you.
your questions and everything like that. And I'm sure I'll be back again here with Anthony in the next stream that he does. So
Yeah, I
take
try to
care,
do
my
these
friend.
every other week at this time. That's kind of my game plan.
Exactly. Okay, Anthony, take care, my friend.
Take care, my friend. Talk to you soon.
Take care. Bye.
And that was Mark Anthony Kay, folks, from Project Gemini, the progressive metal band from right here, independent progressive metal band from right here in Canada, in my hometown here. And so anybody wants to come up, please feel free to come on up and keep me company. Otherwise, I will just look in the comments here. I already had my rant, so if you people missed my rant about the vinyl community and my first year in the VC, you can rewind this video because it will stay on my channel. I keep my streams up because I only do them every couple of weeks, so I keep them up as part of my regular videos on my channel. So it'll probably process and be available, probably by the morning or something. But yeah, it's 1 year on the vinyl community coming up at the end of Friday. I'm very happy with how my channel has done in the past year. I can't be. Thank you everybody that subscribed and watches me ramble on for 30 minutes once a week. Like I said, if for those just tuned in recently, this on the anniversary of, which I think is the 24th or 25th, I have to double check. I'll be dropping a new video, which I'll be probably filming in the next day or so. And it's going to be an updated room tour because I started my channel 1 year ago with my vinyl community intro and room tour. So I figured appropriately 1 year later, I should do that room tour again. Not that very much has changed, but I'm going to show other things from my room. I will show where my vinyl is, but not much has changed there. Maybe I've moved some sections around to make room, but most of it's pretty much the same. But I'm going to be focusing more on my big wall of media because people have commented so much in the past year on my videos about the big wall of media behind me when I film my videos. So I'm going to do a kind of a little tour of that wall of media, do a close up, take you guys and show you how it's organized, what the sections are in that big wall of media, and give you guys a close up view of that wall of media. And then I'll show probably some of my collectibles that I didn't show on my last room tour, like my anime figurines and Funkos and just some of the other things in the room that I didn't show in that tour because my original room tour focused on my vinyl and my stereo system. So there will be, I'll go through my stereo very briefly again and my vinyl very briefly, but I mean, people can watch the old room tour. So, but I'm going to go show people the media there, that big wall of media and some of my collectibles and other things that I collect in my 1 year anniversary room tour video. And what else? And then after that video, that'll be this week's coming up video. And then most likely my next video the following week after that will be my trance and techno video that I have been thinking about and wanting to do for a good part of 6 months or more. And just there's always been another video that came up that I'm going to make this one this week. And it kept getting shelved and shelved and shelved. But trance, which is a form of techno, it's all called EDM now, electronic dance music, EDM. They call it EDM now, but back in the day, around 1999, 2000, there was house, techno, trance, jungle. I'll tell in my video how I became a huge fan of trance and listened to progressive trance, vocal trance, dream trance, love trance, not as much techno, but trance. I was pretty much listening to nothing but trance and some techno and some house for a good part of 10 years. I had basically shelved everything else. I stopped listening to rock. I stopped listening to everything pretty much. And I'll explain why in that video. Listened to nothing but trance and techno because I was burned out. I was tired. I was bored of music. And trance and techno kind of saved my life. It kept me musically alive. And so it was a big part of my life for about 10 years. So, and which I've recently started to collect a little bit of trance. There's not much out there, but a little bit on vinyl. So I'll be showing that in my video, showing some of my trance CDs and stuff and talking about that period of my life. So that's coming up in a couple of weeks on my video, my trance and techno video. And then probably a couple of weeks after that, I will be doing, because my favorite band, Golden Earring, did retire a week ago because George came down with ALS and they decided to retire. I'll probably be doing a top 10. I have done a Golden Earring a live stream with Naz Nomad, a couple hours long, where we went through their entire library a few months ago. But I think I'm going to do a shorter version, and I'm going to do my little farewell to Golden Earring and show maybe my top 10 favorite Golden Earring albums and explain why they are my favorite, and maybe inspire some people to check out Golden Earring and say goodbye to Golden Earring. So that's going to be coming up. And of course, there'll be vinyl finds videos coming up in the future as well. I haven't bought too much this year. Money's tight, and buying and selling things to make money for my records has been tight. But there's a few things, and I have a few pre-orders coming in. One more that I will probably do, another video I'll probably do, is I have ordered the super deluxe box set version of the new Alice Cooper album, Detroit Stories. Comes out this Friday. As soon as I get that, I'll probably do an unboxing of that album. I'll probably I haven't done an unboxing video in ages. I'll probably do an unboxing of the new Alice Cooper Detroit Stories. I'm super hyped for that album. I've heard a good portion of that album. It is spectacular. Probably his best album since $1 Billion Babies. So I'm going to be doing that. It's probably another video. So there's, 4 videos you can look forward to. New Room Tour, Trance and Techno, Golden Earring, Alice Cooper, and who knows what else. Vinyl finds, lots of things to come. And what else? Let's see what's going on in the comments here. Let's see. Good night from Christopher. Nice stream, Anthony. Thank you, Dave, the pickup artist. Andre. Upcoming vinyl is a good website for new releases. Yep. Harris Filton. Hey, AGK, I'm a big trance and techno house fan from the 80s, 90s. Huge in the UK. Get that video up. It is coming. It is coming. Sarasota, bathhouse phase. What's the bathhouse phase? Explain, Sarasota Joes. What is the bathhouse phase? Explain that one. I'd like to know. And anybody wants to come up on stream, they're welcome to. I will be here for a little while more. If nobody comes up, I'll probably end it at 7. If people come up, I'll probably go till 7:30. I normally try to do around a 2.5, 3-hour stream. I started this one at 4:30, about 2 hours ago now. Exactly, 1 hour and 56 minutes ago. So I'll probably keep it going for another little bit. If nobody comes up, I don't think I can talk by myself for an hour here. So I'll stay for another 20, 30 minutes. People are welcome to come on stream. We talk music here, though. We don't. It's not anything else. Well, we talk music, movies, whatever. But no silliness on the screen. This stream is not the free for all that some other streams are. I like to talk about music and things that are coming out. I don't have much pre-ordered right now. Like I said, I've got the Alice Cooper coming. It drops this Friday. I'm sure I'll be getting a shipping notice because I pre-ordered it from the official Alice Cooper website. So that's coming. A new Saga, Canadian prog band, which I absolutely love, who actually had supposedly retired a couple of years ago. They've got a new album coming out on March 12th. Looking forward to that. Black Sabbath finally dropping Heaven and Hell, the first Dio album, and probably my second favorite Black Sabbath album of all time. My favorite Black Sabbath album is Sabotage. My second favorite Black Sabbath album is Heaven and Hell with Ronnie James Dio on vocals. That comes out, is being remastered and re-released on March 12th, I believe it is, or March 6th, maybe March 6th, something like that. March 7th, 6th, 7th, something like, or 5th, something like that. That's coming out. I've got that pre-ordered, and it's going to be a 2 LP. There's going to be some bonus stuff on that new Heaven and Hell reissue remaster. It's going to have, the first disc is going to be the original Heaven and Hell. The second disc, I'm not sure what's on it. If there's demos, I think there's some live material and some alternate takes. I'm not sure, but it's going to be a 2-disc Heaven and Hell release. So I am looking forward to that. And of course, Symphonic Yes is being reissued at the end of March. And what else have I got in? I've got some things in that some people won't care about, but I don't care. This is my stream, my channel. I'm a big, I certainly enjoyed Dua Lipa was my favorite album of last year, pop album. And people trash me for listening to Dua Lipa. I don't care. I think she's one of the most talked about artists out there right now. She just graced the cover of Time magazine. I think you're a big deal when you make Time magazine. So Dua Lipa's got the Moonlight edition of her Future Nostalgia coming out with some bonus tracks. That one I've got in pre-order. What else? What else is coming out? What else is coming out? The Ariana Grande Positions album is being dropped on vinyl. I got a copy of that for my daughter and myself because I think she's a great artist as well. A little more pop or R&B. So yeah, I hit all I hit all veins of music. You know what I'd like to see? I'd like to see some freaking other ones of the Ramones albums reissued. There's a whole whack of Ramones albums that have never been reissued. There's some holes in my Ramones collection. I'd like to see Too Tough to Die reissued, remastered, reissued. Too Tough to Die has not been out since the 80s. I'd like to see Too Tough to Die come out. I'd like to see Subterranean Jungle come out. I'd like to see Adios Amigos. I'd like to see Brain Drain. All the the 80s the 80s Ramones albums have not been out on vinyl in like forever or reissued. They keep reissuing Rocket to Russia, Leave Home, the Ramones album, Road to Ruin, End of the Century. They keep reissuing these things over and over and over, yet they're missing such a massive part of the library. I mean, I've got my original copy of Pleasant Dreams and Animal Boy, but I'd like to see Too Tough to Die and Subterranean Jungle remastered, reissued. Some of those other great Ramones albums need to be released. They do need to be released. So come on, people. Come on, record companies out there. Let's get some Ramones on vinyl. Some of those later Ramones albums. Let's go. What are you waiting for? And let's see what's going on the thing. Let me come in here. Oh, my techno period. Yes. Sarasota Joe, your techno period. Yes. My techno period. Yes. Yeah, I love techno and trance and whatnot. I still do. I still buy. I mean, most of the stuff it's still all mostly released on CD nowadays, and I still probably buy a couple techno albums and trance albums every year on CD. But it's starting to creep up on vinyl. Some of the classic stuff's coming out on vinyl. But yeah, that video's coming. I think he's what's it? Alluding to only gay guys listen to the techno house. No, they don't, Sarasota Joe. Back in the day, oh man, I used to go when techno and trance in 1999, 2000. I used to go to this club here in Toronto with a friend of mine every Friday and Saturday night. It was the only club in all of Toronto that played techno and trance and house music because everything else was playing R&B and rap and hip hop and all that crap. And there was this one trance club, and I'd go in there, and the women in those freaking techno trance clubs, man, oh man. Yeah, I used to go every Friday and Saturday night, 1999, 2000, 2001, 2002, till I met my last ex and got married and whatnot. But for a few years, I was going every Friday night and Saturday night to nightclubs and dancing to trance. And the great thing was you didn't even need to dance with anybody because everybody was just like a big rave, so everybody just dances. And those were some good times. And some hot ladies listen to the trance and techno. Don't get yourself wrong. Some hot ladies love the trance and techno. I tell you. So, and as I've said many times before, music is for all races. Any music is for any race, any religion, any sexual orientation. Music is timeless. Music is ageless. Music is everythingless. Music is music. There are no rules. Love who you love. Listen to who you want to listen to. You can never go wrong listening to music. There is no wrong when it comes to listening to music. Yeah, what else? Techno is notorious in gay bars and bathhouses, not that there's been anything wrong with that. I can agree with that. It probably has been, but it's certainly not. I certainly wouldn't label it as being a music for a certain sexual orientation. EDM, I mean, techno, house, techno, trance, all of that has become what's called EDM now, electronic dance music. And of course, EDM raves and festivals all over the world. We have one here in Toronto every year. What used to be called Digital Dreams. Now it's something else. I can't remember what they call it now. Obviously, we didn't have it last year because of the pandemic. But it attracts, we have a big, big, big festival where all the big DJs come, Armin van Buuren, DJ Tiesto, all the big names are there. And you have a lot of ladies and a lot of men and a lot of everybody and a lot of every sexual orientation under the sun is there. It's just great, great, great dance music. And what else we got here in the comments? Just kidding. Yeah. I know you are, Sarasota Joe. I know you are. Mike, Anthony, Crowded House just announced they are putting a new album out on June 4th. Yeah, I saw that, Mike Mason. Yeah, they do have Crowded House are resurrecting all these bands, resurrecting themselves. I think, the vinyl resurgence has inspired a lot of bands to come out of retirement. I don't know why the CD format and digital format scared a lot of bands away. I feel like it did. This is just my opinion, but a lot of the bands from 70s, 80s and whatnot, when that were big on vinyl, that when CDs came out, they either sank or swam. So they either swam or sank, right? And a lot, I think, got scared away by the CD format and saying, the vinyl age is over, maybe we're dinosaurs, maybe it's time to hang up our instruments. And a lot of bands kind of disappeared and with the CD age and certainly with the digital age, with the streaming age. But I think the vinyl resurgence and that whole increase in listening to a lot of classic bands and a lot of young people now buying Pink Floyd for the first time and buying record players for the first time and buying their Crosleys and buying Pink Floyd and buying Zeppelin and buying whatever from the 70s and 80s and buying, anything. I think it's inspired a lot of these bands to come out of the woodwork. And the more bands that come out of retirement, the more it inspires other bands to come out of retirement. Because it's like, Saga hung up their shoes like 3 years ago, and now they're like, well, we're back again. And and then that inspires another band to like, oh, maybe they came back, they're doing good. Well, let's come out too, and everybody's coming back. I don't know, maybe they just all went broke the last 20 years and spent all their money, and it's like, oh damn, we got to go back to work again. But I don't think it's that. Who are some of your favorite singer-songwriters to come out in the last 2 decades, Anthony? Singer-songwriters. I'm not a big singer-songwriter guy. I did discover Amy Shark recently. She's from Australia, and I got her album, and I really like that album. Lyra Lynn, I discovered her. She's very Joni Mitchell-ish. I don't know how to put it, but I like Lyra Lynn. She's a fairly recent singer-songwriter. I don't know how you it's a pretty, you could call Dua Lipa a singer-songwriter, even though she's more pop and synth pop and electronic dance. She does write all her own, technically she's a singer-songwriter because Dua Lipa does write all her own music. She writes all the music. She writes all the lyrics, everything. So, technically you'd call her a singer-songwriter as well. Ariana Grande, you could call a singer-songwriter, I guess, because she does write all of her music and lyrics herself. Lady Gaga, of course, you could call a singer-songwriter because she does write all her music and lyrics herself, as opposed to people that were produced by like people like Max Martin, who did, wrote all Britney Spears stuff and things like that. So, I think anybody that writes their own lyrics and music is a singer-songwriter. And that's where I think a lot of these artists are getting trashed, like Dua Lipa are not getting trashed in the VC because they're like manufactured pop. Well, it's not manufactured because she's writing all her material herself. So that, in my mind, that makes her an artist. That makes her an artist. So I don't know what else other singer-songwriters. There's probably a million singer-songwriters I could think of off the top of my head. Wendy James is, I guess, technically a singer-songwriter. She's been a singer-songwriter for the last 30 years since she left Transvision Vamp. She's been on her own, self-producing herself. So I would call her a singer-songwriter. And she, of course, had a new album last year and is currently working on what she's calling Wendy James 10, because it's her 10th album. So she's technically a singer-songwriter. Lee, the symphonic metal artist, independent metal artist from Canada, Lee, who I've shown before. She is, I would call, a singer-songwriter as well, because she is totally independent. She's like Mark Anthony Kaye. She does everything herself. She sends out the parts. She plays the keyboards herself, but has guitarists from like Nightwish and some of these European metal bands who contribute to the album, the instruments, but she writes everything herself. She produces herself. She records at her own in-home studio, and she's a mother of 5 kids and so homeschools her kids and runs a candle making business while also being a symphonic metal artist. I think that's absolutely amazing. So I'd put her in that singer-songwriter category too, because anybody that's writing all their music and writing all their lyrics, that's, to me, that's a singer-songwriter. What else? Underball, nice to see you, my friend. You're heading out. Nice to have you drop by. Let's see. Perhaps I know in the 90s, UK dance was a huge working class culture, gay, straight. It was huge, bigger than Britpop. AGK, when did you say Golden Earring started, and what were they called back then? Golden Earring were originally formed in 1961 by Rhinus and George Kuhnemans and his best friend that he'd gone to school with, Rhinus, at the wee age of 16 years old or 15 years old, formed Golden Earring under the name The Tornadoes. And they were the Tornadoes from 1961 to 1965. Rhinus and George, Rhinus, who's of course still in the band, is the bass player, keyboardist, and George, of course, one of the vocalists who shares vocals with Barry Hay, and of course the lead guitarist. Brilliant guitar player, absolutely brilliant guitar player. So George and Rhinus formed Golden Earring 1961 under the name of the Tornadoes, and it was in 1965 when they renamed themselves to the Golden Earrings, named after a song by Patsy Cline, I believe it was. It was a Patsy somebody. I'm pretty sure it was Patsy Cline or Patsy Smith. Patsy Cline, I believe. One of these had a song called The Golden Earrings. And that's where the Golden Earrings got their name from, was from this song by Patsy, whoever it was. Patsy, I think it was Patsy Cline. They named themselves after that song, The Golden Earrings, in 1965, dropped their very first album, The Golden Earrings, called Just Earrings, in 1965, and it was very beat. It was beat pop. It was beat pop. It was like the Beatles. It was like Beatles, Stones music of the 65. I love that first album. That first Golden Earring album with Please Go. It's like the Beatles. It's like early Stones. It's like early Beatles. They were definitely influenced by the Stones of that era. So that's how they started. And then they moved into the psych age and they became a psych band. And so in 65, they were the Golden Earrings. 67, they dropped the and became Golden Earrings in 67. In 69, they dropped the S and went from Golden Earrings to the Golden Earring. And then finally, when they got, during that time, they lost their drummer, they lost their bass player. Rhinus and George, the bass player and the guitarist, the founding members, have always been in the band right up to today when they retired. But Rhinus and George, once they finally brought Barry Hay on board as their other vocalist and flautist and guitarist, rhythm guitarist, once Barry Hay came on, and then Cesar on drums, one of the best drummers in the world. I put him up there with Neil Peart, whatnot. You go watch a drum solo of Cesar from Golden Earring. Go watch one of his drum solos. Absolutely spectacular. And there's one video on YouTube called The 1,000 Drums, where Golden Earring play Radar Love in the Netherlands with 1,000 drummers in the audience drumming along to Radar Love. And Cesar, who teaches drum now, he actually does masterclass drum lessons. Cesar leads these 1,000 drummers. Watch the video of 1,000 drums playing Radar Love. It just is mind-blowing. 1,000 drummers playing along to Golden Earring and Radar Love. Unbelievable. So yeah, finally, once Cesar was on board in 1970, the Golden Earring was dropped and they became just Golden Earring and released their self-titled album called Golden Earring. So 1970 to 2020, 50 years later, they were Golden Earring. Their first self-titled album just called Golden Earring, which fans nicknamed the Wall of Dolls, because if you look in the background, they're standing in front of this wall of all these little dolls, and it's called the Wall of Dolls, and it's somewhere in the Netherlands, in The Hague or something, somewhere in the Netherlands. This wall with these dolls actually exists. So that album has been nicknamed the Wall of Dolls. But that's the history of the basic history of Golden Earring. And now they have retired. Let's see. Yeah, Randy, like you said, in 1961, Golden Earring were called the Tornadoes. Very good, Randy. Thanks, 66. Split Ends, True Colors vinyl reissue came out in digital in 4 colors. Sold out anyway. I still have the laser one. Yeah, I still have my original Split Ends somewhere. The one that had the 4 different covers. Mine was the purple cover. Mine was the purple cover. Let's see. AGK breaking out the Rain Man like years, dates, names like a champ. Very impressive. I'm a golden head. That's right. I'm a golden head or an earhead, or I'm unclear. Yeah, I don't know. Do Golden Earring fans have? I don't know. Do they have a nickname? I mean, there's a lot of like, also I'm a big Pet Shop Boys fan, massive Pet Shop Boys fan, favorite pop act of all time. I have more Pet Shop Boys albums and CDs and whatnot than any other artist in my collection. Actually, I counted them up the other day. I have 80 different Pet Shop Boys titles in my collection, between originals, remasters, expanded editions, 12-inch singles, 7-inch singles, CD singles, whatnot. Golden Earring, I'm pretty close to on that as well, between vinyl and CD and singles and whatnot, and live albums and whatnot, because Golden Earring have 26 studio albums, 9 live albums, DVDs, singles, whatever. So Golden Earring, I have a massive amount. Alice Cooper, I have a massive library of as well. But Pet Shop Boys, yeah, a massive amount of Pet Shop Boys stuff. But Pet Shop Boys fans are called Pet Heads. Yeah, Pet Shop Boy fans are called Pet Heads. I know some bands, the fans, they do have a name. Like Kiss has the Kiss Army. You're part of the Kiss Army if you're a fan of Kiss. I don't know if Golden Earring have a nickname for their fans. It was probably something in Dutch, because of course Golden Earring were Dutch, and if you ever see them in interviews, they always spoke Dutch. All of Golden Earring's music was sung in English, yet they all spoke Dutch. And you look at interviews, they're always speaking Dutch. It's really hard to find an interview where Golden Earring are speaking English, but yet they sang everything in English. So maybe they have a nickname, but it's in Dutch. Who knows? I don't know. Does anybody want to come up? We'll put the link out there again, just in case anybody's new in the chat. We'll put the link out there. If anybody wants to drop by, you're welcome to. I'll be here for a little while longer. Chat like that. There we go. Yeah, Pet Heads, us Pet Heads. We love our Pet Shop Boys. What else? Charlie Taco, what do you do? Charlie, once again, making no sense whatsoever. But we still like you, Charlie. Amish Joe and Burnout Charlie meet again. Heavens to Mark. True Pet Shop fans are called heavy petters. Hey, TARDIS Rider, nice to see you here. And what else can I talk about? So yeah, I had my bitch session about the vinyl community, my 1-year bitch session. So I did live up to the name of my stream. Talked about the toxic, but I didn't drop names because I'm not that type of person. I did not drop any names of people that I would consider toxic, but I think a lot of people know who the toxic people are and who the elitists are. And it's my business, it's my personal rant. So I was gone for about a week and a half, didn't appear on any live streams, hardly even looked at any live streams. I would drop in once in a blue moon and watch for 5 minutes, but honestly, I just like disconnected myself because I was tired and needed a break and needed to reevaluate if I even wanted to stay in the vinyl community at all, because I was really kind of ready to leave the vinyl community, but then realized that the toxicity was only a tiny group of people, and the vinyl community is this, and the number of toxic people is like this. It's like a needle in a haystack compared to the actual size of the vinyl community. So I'm in it for another year, I guess. I'll do it for another year. I've got the next 3 or 4 videos planned. I'm not going to be live streaming as much. I will do this live stream. I enjoy my Saturday afternoon live stream. It's a good time for me every other weekend. I don't have my daughter here every other weekend. One of the reasons I do it, because I share custody of my daughter with my ex-wife. So it's a lonely time for me when my daughter's spending time with my ex and not with me. She lives with me for a week. She lives with my ex for a week, just so you know. So the weeks that she's not with me, it's a pretty lonely time for me. And of course, I have to take care of my mom, who's pretty much bedridden now. And it's her birthday tomorrow, and I will look forward to celebrating her 94th birthday with her. But yeah, one other thing that might be happening. I'm not sure if it's going to happen on a live stream or in a video. But I was talking to my daughter the other day, and initially she said she would never come on she was too shy, would never come on a video or whatnot. And I was talking to my daughter yesterday, I believe it was, or the day before, and said, you know, why don't you come on a video with me? I've seen other channels do it. Why don't you come on a video with your dad? And we'll talk about music that the young people are into. You can talk about your Ariana Grande or your The Neighborhood, I think is a band she's listening to now. And she's actually into Weezer right now as well. And I go, you know, like, why don't you come on a video with dad and we'll do a father-daughter video. I don't know if it's going to be a live stream or a video, but she wasn't opposed to the idea. I think she was kind of hinting towards a live stream maybe when I talked to her, but I think I might be able to get my daughter one day soon to do a video with me, which I think will be really fun. And if she does it, I'll really cherish that. If she does a video with me and where we both sit down and I will talk about what she likes and what the young people today are into and whatnot. And so we'll see. I got my fingers crossed, but I think my daughter might be considering doing either a live stream or video with me in the not too distant future. And if she does, it'll make my life. It'll make my day to have my daughter next to me and we'll talk about music together. So cross my fingers that happens. I'm keeping my fingers crossed. Kids are funny though. That 1 minute they're saying they're going to do one thing, and then the next minute the idea is gone from their head. So a month ago my daughter was picking up my electric guitar and practicing electric guitar and following YouTube videos and learning how to do electric guitar. And then I went to her the other day and said, I can get, when this pandemic stuff is over, I can get you get you a guitar teacher if you really want to learn. And she's like, well, I don't know if I want to do guitar now or not. So, ideas come and go with kids pretty fast. So fingers crossed, my daughter will come on and do fingers crossed my daughter will come on and do a video with me one day soon. But that's all I have. New albums, not much. I'm afraid it's been a very quiet time the last couple of weeks. I haven't been really listening to music, listening to vinyl too much lately. The odd record here and there. The latest thing, of course, was Death by Rock and Roll by the Pretty Reckless. Just got that. I had pre-ordered that, and it came on a beautiful double LP with the fourth side etched. I've heard the album. I haven't heard my vinyl yet, but I have heard the album via streaming, and it is spectacular. Death by Rock and Roll, Taylor Momsen, Pretty Reckless, their fourth studio album, and it is absolutely incredible. Fantastic. Looking forward to that. And I spun this one today. This one I picked up somebody mentioned earlier in the stream about show your latest jazz album or something. Well, I picked this up in January, at the end of January, and I just spun it for the first time this afternoon before the stream. And it is a soundtrack by Seatbelts to Cowboy Bebop Deluxe. I mean, Cowboy Bebop Deluxe. Cowboy Bebop. Cowboy Bebop was a very famous anime series, legendary anime series, and I just spun this album for the first time today, and this album blew me away. It absolutely blew me away. It is by a 23-piece band called Seatbelts. They are all Japanese because it's a Japanese anime. They are a Japanese band called Seatbelts, 23 members in the band. And you've got basically in the band, you've got a keyboardist, a synthesizer, drums, 2 bass players, a guitarist, 2 percussionists, a lyricist, like a vocalist, but there's only a couple of vocal songs on the album. 4 saxophone players, 3 trumpets, 3 trombonists, 3 flautists, however you say that, and 1 tuba player. And this album blew my mind when I played it today. Holy F-U-C-K, incredible. I highly recommend it. It's got big bopping jazz on it. It's got, it's got all styles of music on it, being a soundtrack, but they're all, full-length songs. But there's some incredible jazz pieces on here, some ambient pieces, some almost Western and folky things on here, a couple of really beautiful ballads on here. Oh my God, this album blew my mind. Looked them up. I looked up a video on YouTube of Seatbelts performing. These guys are incredible. 23-piece, all Japanese players. A beautiful album. A legendary anime series, Cowboy Bebop. And this pressing sounded spectacular. And it's on 2 different colors of vinyl. 2-disc set on 2 different colors of vinyl. This one is on this really cool colored, kind of a red marble or something. And then disc 2. Disc 2 is on this beautiful purple marble. What a fantastic spin. Wow, blew my mind. This is going to be getting played a lot. Cowboy Bebop, the soundtrack from the anime series, the classic legendary anime series. Highly recommend watching that series. In fact, after listening to this today, I'm going to pull my Cowboy Bebop Blu-ray out and watch all 26 episodes of that series again over the next couple of weeks, because it's been many, many, many years since I've seen it. But wow, guys, spectacular soundtrack. It is like, I was blown. My mind was blown after I heard this. Holy F-U-C-K. Cowboy Bebop. Highly recommend that. What else is new? And Charlie's going on about blocking people. Well, we still got 23 people here. And here's Left Break Vinyl. Good evening, Left Break Vinyl. Nice to see you drop by. Anybody want to come on? I would happily have. I'd happily have somebody else join me here. But if you're all happy watching me ramble away here on my own, apparently 23 people right now are. That's fine. Anthony, you ever watch Excel Saga? Yes, I've watched Excel Saga. As people know, I'm a huge anime fan. And when I do that video this coming week, when I do my 1-year anniversary room tour 1 year later video, I will be focusing, like I said, on my media wall, showing how I have all my Blu-rays and DVDs organized, because that was never really shown before. And people have commented for the last year about my media wall. I'm going to show that. I'm going to be showing you where I have all my anime, because I have a massive anime films library, and I have a ton of anime figurines that I have collected over 30 years. I don't collect them so much anymore. I maybe buy 1 or 2 in a year now. But I was hardcore collecting them for a good part of 30 years. And I have a massive anime figurine, PVC figurine collection, which I will start selling some pieces too, because they're all pretty valuable now. Anime figurines go up in value pretty fast. So I'll be showing that. I'll be showing anime stuff. I'll be showing my media wall, a little bit of records and stuff, like I said before. I'll be showing my record things again. It's going to be like a room tour redux or room tour part 2 or a 1-year anniversary of my room tour, the video I started the vinyl community off with. And so that's coming. Let's see. The new Bowie Station to Station reissue, 45th, comes out in red or white. Had to order since have the others. I want white. Optimal, yeah, I know. Yeah, Station to Station. How many times do I have to reissue Station to Station though? Like, do something different, like I don't know, add another disc of stuff to it or something. I don't know. Is there another disc of stuff, or is it just it's just a color variant of the album? I know I've got the Diamond Dogs a couple of years ago reissue, which was done on a red variant, and it had the original cover art. The cover art that was the Diamond Dogs that was censored, where they took the naughty bit off the back of the Diamond Dog on that. It was airbrushed out of the picture on the Diamond Dogs. And when they did the reissue, they included the original unairbrushed photo of Diamond Dogs and put it on a red vinyl. I got that. I got the Aladdin Sane reissue. I can't remember what color it's on. It was on a white or a gray, or I'd have to pull it out. I think it's on a gray. I think it's on a silver. I don't know. The Aladdin Sane I picked up. They were good. So I don't know anything about the Station to Station. Is it going to have any bonus stuff on it? If you know, let me know, guys. Yeah, I've watched Excel Saga. I've just been watching Ruby this week, the Rooster Teeth anime series, and I just finished season 5 this week. I'd watched seasons 1 to 3 about a year ago, and then I binge watched seasons 4 and 5, and I still have season 6 and 7 to watch. Ruby is a fantastic anime. North American made anime, amazingly enough, too. And so I've been watching Ruby, spelled RWBY, but pronounced Ruby. Been watching that lately, and I've got a bunch of other anime I got to watch. Golden Ring is also referred to as the earring, and sometimes jokingly as the golden tring, which means golden tubular tuberculosis. Huh? Golden tuberculosis. Okay. Whatever. You say so. What else? Yeah, so I have been laying low the last week and a half, regrouping, just taking a break from the vinyl community in general. Not that it's a very big part of my life, as I said earlier in this video, for those that just joined. Vinyl is not a huge part of my life, people. People seem to think that my whole day is vinyl, but literally, I normally spin 1 record a day, sometimes 2. Maybe on a weekend or when my daughter's away with her mom, I might, there'll be the odd day where I'll spin 3 or 4 or 5 albums in one day. Well, most of the time I spin 1 album a day, try to always spin 1 album a day. I mean, that's only maybe 5 days a week. So, vinyl only takes up a minuscule part of my day and my life. I have a very busy life doing other things other than vinyl. I'm a gamer. I've been a gamer all my life. I grew up with Pong and Super Nintendo and Nintendo, and I will game. There's nothing wrong with being my age and gaming. Keeps the mind sharp, keeps everything sharp. I've been a gamer all my life. I am a competitive gamer. I play a couple of games in a competitive league, Overwatch, Call of Duty. I play competitive Overwatch and Call of Duty, and that's another hour in my day besides maybe an hour in my day of music. There's another hour in my day where I'm gaming, hardcore gaming in leagues, in competitive leagues, and I can hold my own. So that's another thing I do in my off time, and then I try to take an hour a day or so where I'm watching something, binge watching something, or watching a movie, or watching a show, or whatever. But that's that's only my pleasures only take up maybe 3 hours in the day, and the rest of the time I'm taking care of mom, taking care of business, taking care of the house, taking care of everything else, shoveling snow, getting my daughter, taking care of my daughter, a lot of things, taking care of life, taking care of the obligations. So, my presence in the vinyl community and what you see when I stream and what, I let you guys in on a very, very tiny part of my life. It's a very tiny part of my life. What else is going on in the peanut gallery here? Let's see. Golden earring is also vegetarian. Who wears it better, BB or AC? I don't quite get that, Charlie. What are you referring to, BB or AC? I don't know who AC is. So who wears what better? Charlie talking in riddles as he normally does. Sharp, I've heard the story 7 times this stream. I've left often. Oh, thank you, Charlie. Yeah, you keep going. You've been getting yourself blocked on a lot of streams, Charlie. You poor guy, you. I would hate to have to block you because I like you, Charlie. But we're coming up on 7:14. I've been on the stream for 2.5 hours. I normally do a 2.5 to 3 hour. I normally do a 3-hour stream if there is other people with me. I had invited a few people, but people were busy today and couldn't make it, which is understandable. It's Saturday. People got lives to do. But this will be my spot for my streams every other weekend, every other Saturday, 4:34, 4:35, somewhere in that. I will be doing a stream. And I had Mark Anthony on earlier today. I had Jorgen S. on earlier today. I had Ron Bowdry on earlier today. Thank you all you guys for dropping by. I appreciate it. You'll see me somewhere. I won't be doing too many streams. I'll drop by Rachel's stream once in a blue moon, but I'm not going to spend a lot of time there like I used to. And it's just not worth it for me. It's more pain than pleasure. So, but thank you everybody that came in the peanut gallery. I still got almost 20 people on this watching this. Thank you everybody for coming by. If nobody else is going to join me, I think I've talked enough by myself. And I'm going to get on with my night here and enjoy the evening. Maybe spin another record today. I'll actually get 2 records in today. But I got to take care of, dinner for the dog and take care of family and all that stuff. Thank you everybody that dropped by. Let's see. Let's see what comes in the next year. Let's see what comes in the next year with my channel. I certainly got my next 3 or 4 videos planned, and then from that, I don't know what I'm going to do, but I'm sure I'll think of something by then. And I will see you guys around. I'll certainly see you guys in 2 more weeks. 2 weeks from now, I'll be back here. This is going to be my day and time slot for my streams. I might drop by one of the other streams once in a blue moon. Thank you, everybody, for coming today. All the Peanut Gallery members, Dead Wax, Charlie, Left Break. Who else was in today? Tardis Rider, Sarasota Joe, Mike Mason, Andre Ball, Dave the Pickup Artist, Lisa Tedesco, Christopher, Liam, Andre Ball. Did I mention him? Thanks everybody for dropping by my stream today. You're much appreciated. And I will see you guys all very, very soon in my next video coming later this week on the anniversary of my first video. And as I always say in all my videos, rock and roll.